semifinal clash here at Nassau Coliseum, home of the Islanders. Rangers fans didn't have far to come either. You're going to hear a lot of noise for both sides this afternoon. 2 nights ago in the same building, the Rangers spotted the Islanders the first goal, but came back to win game number 1, 4-1. There's the game winner, Carol Vadney from the point. Eddie Johnstone tipped it in, and the Rangers scored 2 more, go on to win it 4-1. And today, live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, it's Game 2 of this NHL semifinal series between the Islanders and the Rangers, right here on NHL 79. Is being brought to you by Porsche Audi, the official cars of the NHL Network. Nothing even comes close. And by Sony. Whatever home entertainment you need, it's a Sony. And by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by Men & Skin Bracer, the morning aftershave. Its skin tightener and chin chillers wake you up like a cold slap in the face. Everybody, and welcome to exciting NHL playoff action this afternoon. My name is Scott Wahle, your host on NHL 79. The voice of NHL 79 is Dan Kelly to call the play-by-play of this afternoon's hockey game. And by popular demand, we welcome back as our guest commentator, the general manager of the Minnesota North Stars, Nanne. Well, in the last so-called Subway Series, it was Casey Stengel and Walter Alston at the helm. Well, this time around, it's Freddie Shero for the New York Rangers and Al Arbour for the Islanders. Dan Kelly is talking with the coach of the Islanders in his 6th year behind the bench, Al Arbour.
Thanks, Scott. Al, you were quoted after Game 1 as saying your team was completely flat against the Rangers. How does that happen at this stage of the playoffs, and what do you do as a coach to try and remedy that?
Well, it's really hard to pinpoint, Dan. You know, we were flat. We played very poorly, but we've only played 4 games in 17 days, and that could be a possibility right there. But today it will be different. We have to take the initiative. We have to be more aggressive in all phases of the game. And the thing is, we have to play our game. You know, we have to execute well offensively and execute well defensively.
What do you do as a coach to get them out of that flat mood that you thought they were in the other night?
Well, I think the players realized as much as anyone, that they were flat and played poorly. And we had a good workout yesterday, and the players are up. They know what they have to do, and we're ready.
Okay, Al Arbour says his Islanders are ready, and they need a win today to tie up their series with the Rangers. This is Stanley Cup 79, live from the Nassau Coliseum. Nanne. Lou, welcome back. You know, on this Islanders hockey team, you hear so much about guys like Bossy, Trottier, Potvin, but I know you're also impressed with a guy by the name of John Tonelli.
Well, that's right, Scott. John Tonelli has probably made the best adjustment of anybody coming over from the WHA into our league this season. He's a tenacious, tireless worker, a fellow that has already strengthened a strong Islander forward attack, and he gives them some balance on the forward lines, which is something that the Rangers are going to have to contend with.
For the Rangers, a bit of a surprise in the scoring department. Eddie Johnstone tied for the Rangers scoring lead with 5 playoff goals.
Eddie Johnson is definitely a surprise, leading their team with 5 goals, 1 a shorthanded goal. He's used as a penalty killer. He's seen a lot of ice time, much more than he saw during the regular season, and he's been a solid performer for them all along.
And, of course, Don Murdoch, not so much of a surprise. He also has 5 for that tied with Johnstone. In just a moment, the New York Rangers and the New York Islanders and the start of the first period.
The officials today, the referee is Bruce Hood. The linesman John D'Amico and Ron Finn. And the 2 men on the spot, the goaltenders. John Davidson, an incredible 1.36 goals against playoff average in 8 games. Billy Smith has played 2 games. He has a 0.49 goals against mark. And we are ready for Game 2 of this best-of-7 Stanley Cup semifinal series between the Islanders and the Rangers. The Rangers surprised the Islanders with a 4-1 victory in Game 1. Referee Bruce Hood drops the puck, and Game 2 is underway. Dennis Potvin lost it to Kachuk, a shot, and Billy Smith cleared it off to the side. Islanders in their own zone. Trottier couldn't get it out. Now Clark Gillies, number 9. Here's Gillies, the Islander captain. Quick shot, and Davidson a stick save. And off the Islander goaltender and up over the glass into the crowd. Are the New York Rangers for real? That's what we asked Ranger coach Fred Shero.
I think we're for real. We must be for real if we beat every big team in hockey this year right on their home ice and by big scores. In other words, I think they got the confidence now. They know they can play hockey, and they beat the best. And they work just as hard in the playoffs. There's no reason they can't do well in the playoffs.
Mr. Sherrill sounding very confident. Here is the puck behind the Ranger goal. Vadnais, number 5, trying to feed it out. Potvin held it in. Now, Tkachuk for New York. Lost it to Bossy. Bossy shoots, and Davidson got a stick on it. Vickers for the Rangers fires it to center. And going back after it is number 5, Dennis Potvin. Potvin feeding it out. Vickers knocked it down, but he handed it right to Bossy. Mike Bossy. Over to his line mate Trottier. Back around on the boards to Dennis Potvin. Islanders in their own zone. Trying to feed it out to Gillies. Now to Brian Trottier, who got it to center. Vadnais shot it back in, and it's offside. And they rule an intentional offside, and the faceoff is going to come all the way back into the New York Ranger into the ring. John Davidson has been tremendous in the playoffs, and we asked him the reasons for his great playoff performance so far.
I think the last 5 or 6, 7 games of the season, they gave me a shot to play, and I wasn't in shape. I got into game condition shape, and they gave me a chance to play, and I came alive in the playoffs a little bit. Also, the whole club is playing so well for us, Scott. It's just everybody's come around the playoffs.
And that average, 1.36 and 5 victories in a row for Davidson. Here's Bourne, a shot hit Murdoch. And now, as Lewis shoots it back in, offside is called. Esposito and Merrick having some words.
Well, Donnie Murdoch got hit with a shot, Dan, and he's limping around, and I'm sure it's not going to bother him too much, because in a game such as this, for some reason, the pain just goes away. But he took a good shot on the ankle, and he's going to go off right now, I would think. Here's a slap shot. Bobby Bourne winding up. That puck standing up somewhat, and it's going to get him right there just above the ankle and bothering Murdoch. He's going to the dressing right now, but unless it's broken, you'll see him back. Donnie Murdoch, of course, leading the Rangers with 5 goals, tied with Eddie Johnston, and a great performer for the Rangers since his return.
Scoreless here in the early going as the Islanders dump it into the New York zone. Rechner is there on the boards on the other wing, and here's Esposito taking Don Maloney's pass. Esposito on a 3-on-2 break, and the play goes offside at the New York Islander blue line. Lou Nanne, I made mention of noisy buildings, but I don't think I have ever heard a hockey arena any noisier than this, and I guess when you have 2 New York teams involved, that's the reason.
Well, this is a great series and a great situation to have 2 clubs like this involved in the playoffs, and this could be a final series and be great because both teams warrant that kind of attention.
Here's Greshner for the Rangers, firing it into the Islander zone. Nystrom trying to clear it out. Now the Rangers hold it in, and back in behind the net is Jerry Hart. Hart over to Dennis Potvin. Potvin is bumped on the play. Bourne now trying to get it out. Gets it to Merrick to Dennis Potvin. Potvin, number 5, shoots one, and he fired wide. Nystrom tried to come up with the puck and couldn't. Here's Bourne. Now Maloney gets it to Esposito, who shot at the center. Here's Eddie Johnstone for the Rangers with a quick shot wide of the net. Rangers try and hold it in. Back behind the Islander goal is Jerry Hart for Bourne. Bourne bumped on the play. And they jam up and hold it against the boards. And the faceoff is going to be in the Islander zone. A very tame opening game in this series, Lou Nanne, but I would think that feelings are running rather high here for Game 2. And I would expect some real hitting from both clubs.
No question about it, Dan. I think that the emotionalism you see in both teams is probably higher than it was in the first game. Phil Esposito, who's had, I would say, the best season he's had in the last 5, leading the Rangers this year and playing superbly all during the playoffs, and more or less their spiritual leader because he's got more points than probably everyone but 10 or 12 people in the history of the game. These Rangers are ready to play, and the Islanders are showing that they were the best team all year long and should be that.
Esposito, by the way, will be Scott Whaley's guest in our first intermission. All ready for a face-off. Bobby Sheehan on the draw against Westfall. The Rangers get it. McEwen a shot. And a pad save by Smith. Now Tonelli for New York. Shot at the center. Here's McEwen over for Marois, who got it to center ice. Sheehan couldn't control it, and the Islanders. Pinelli trying to set up Kosicki, and the play went offside at the New York Ranger blue line. We were talking about Phil Esposito. I talked to Phil just before the game and said, what's the difference with the Rangers this year? He said simply Fred Shero. He said discipline of Shero and the confidence of Fred Shero has made all the difference in the world. Here is Potvin for Hart. Hart moving it in across the line to Tonelli. It goes to the corner. Tonelli centers one, and the Rangers are there to intercept, and back they come. On right wing for Duguay, Potvin intercepts. Now it's Tonelli for Hart. Hart, number 2 for New York, dropping it back to the point for Harris into the corner to Tonelli. Tonelli centered a shot, and Harris hit the side of the net with a low shot. Billy Harris hitting the outside of the Ranger goal. Here's Marois right in front of his own net and cleared it out to Hickey. Now Sheehan with Duguay on a 2-on-2 break. Duguay shoots one, and it went off Potvin wide of the net. Harris in the corner. Lost it behind the goal. Duguay knocked down by Harris, and Harris is going to get a penalty. Puck is centered. A shot at hit the crossbar. They score! On the rebound, there was Kachuk to poke it home on a delayed penalty.
Well, Dan, McEwen shoots the puck from the blue line, and Billy Smith, the goaltender, loses sight of it. You'll see this shot coming right now. Then look at Billy Smith. He loses sight of it after the shot taken. It hits the pipe, drops behind him, and now he's looking, and it was in front of him, and that's when Kachuk just knocked it in to give the Rangers the lead. Well, the Islanders were going to get a penalty, as you said, a delayed penalty, and the Rangers had that extra attacker on the ice. The shot by McEwen hits the pipe, and Kachuk puts it home. Rangers have the lead.
Kachuk there to poke home the shot off the crossbar or goal post, and the Rangers lead 1-0, and of course that nullifies the penalty to Billy Harris. But the Rangers have the big first goal. Here's Trottier on left wing trying to move it into the New York zone. He's tied up on the boards by Dave Maloney, and then they got their sticks up, and play is called. And we're going to have penalties here. So penalties coming up. That's Dave Maloney in the penalty box for high sticking, and the Islanders have a power play chance here as the Rangers clear it down the ice. Islanders on the power play, trailing in the game 1-0. Dennis Potvin, number 5, feeding for Trottier. Now over to number 7, Pearson, who fires it into the Ranger zone. Gillies digs in. He bumped Johnstone, but the Rangers get the puck and clear it to center, and Potvin is back after it. Potvin being forechecked by Pierre Plante. Potvin has to drop it back to Pearson, and then Billy Smith cleared it away. And the Islanders look a little tight in their own end. Here's Bossy. Mike Bossy over to Trottier. Back for Bossy. Broken up. Greshner couldn't clear it. Here's Gillies. Centered, and Trottier couldn't get a stick on it. Islanders, Dennis Potvin to Pearson. Back to Potvin. Into the other corner, Trottier lets it go, and Johnstone has it for New York. Johnstone drops it back, and Greshner clears it down the ice. 58 seconds left in the penalty. Dennis Potvin. Over to Trottier, back to Potvin. Now on right wing for Trottier. Trottier works around Johnstone. Bumped into the boards by Parrish, back of the net. Gillies and Kachuk fight for it, and Greshner clears it away for the Rangers. 35 seconds left in the penalty to Dave Maloney. Here's Dennis Potvin. Trying to get away from Kachuk, was knocked down on the play. Now Tonelli carries on for the Islanders. Here's Tonelli, leaving it for Bossy, but cleared away. And the Rangers, Kachuk dumps it down the ice. Potvin, number 5, back to get it. Just 13 seconds left in Dave Maloney's penalty for New York. Harris for the Islanders. Back for Pearson. Stepan Pearson. Over for Tonelli. Broken up and cleared away by Kachuk. And again, the Islanders have to go back. Maloney is back on. The Rangers have killed it off and are leading in the game 1-0. Here's Kosicki for the Islanders. Takes the shot. Now lets it go. Davidson a stick save. Tonelli a shot, and Davidson got a piece of that. Greshner trying to clear it. Duguay gets it ahead to Hickey now at center ice for Sheehan. Sheehan to Hickey, back to Sheehan. To Pat Hickey again, over to Duguay, shoots one, and Smith makes a pad save. Kazicki passing to Tonelli, who cleared it down the ice. Going wide of the Ranger goal. And as McEwen goes back and touches it, icing called against the Islanders. With the score, the Rangers won, the Islanders nothing. This is Stanley Cup 79.
Magazine for the Western States is a newspaper all skating enthusiasts should read. It features...
Left in the first period. Incidentally, that Ranger scoring play, Kachuk from McEwen and Hickey at 3:12. Here are the Rangers centering one. Duguay deflected it. Smith whacks it away and then pushes at Duguay. And Smith and Duguay have some words. And that's one area where now we have more pushing and shoving. Marois in front of the net pushing at Jerry Hart. And here go Marois and Hart.
Well, Dan, the pass was centered by Bobby Sheehan across the crease to Duguay. It deflected off a stick, hit him in the head, and Billy Smith thought that Duguay was too close and took a swipe at him in the crease. The whistles blew. We had a little shoving and pushing. We were already going to have some penalties. Then Marois went in there after Hart, and Hart was shoving one of the Rangers. So we'll probably have about 4 players going off. And as we said earlier, the emotions are really pent up at this time. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of intensity in this building. Both clubs really feeling the pressure right now and very excited in this game, even though we're early in the first period.
Lou, is it just my thinking, or did you find the Islanders seemed a little bit tight, particularly during that power play?
I think you're right, Dan. You can see that early in their play, just the way they were passing the puck.
This is Stanley Cup 79, live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York.
Rangers penalty on number 10, Ron Duguay.
Assessed in that skirmish near the Islander goal. Billy Smith, the Islander goaltender, gets a minor penalty for high sticking. Jerry Hart, a minor penalty for roughing. Duguay of the Rangers, a minor penalty for roughing. And Marois, a double minor for roughing. So actually 5 penalties called.
There's where you see the puck go up and hit Duguay in the head. And as he moved towards Billy Smith gave him a shot back, and we had a little roughing there. That was the initial penalties called. 2 minutes each, and then Marois went after Hart, so Marois got 4 minutes and Hart got 2. And right now we'll have a 3 against 3 on the ice, and then eventually the Islanders will have the man advantage.
Repeating the penalties, 5 minors called on the play. Marois gets a double minor for roughing. Duguay, a single minor for roughing. Same thing with Billy Smith, a minor for high sticking, and Jerry Hart, a minor for roughing. And as Lou Nanne says, eventually the Islanders will have a man advantage out of this. Right now, each team 2 men short. Rangers lead 1-0 as Lewis for the Islanders gives it to the veteran Westfall, number 18. Westfall leaving it there for Lorimer. Lorimer and Gressner behind the net. Now out of the net is Davidson to clear it over on the boards for Esposito. And he backhands one off the boards to center ice. And here is Bourne for the Islanders. Bourne, who has some speed into the New York zone, shoots one and off Gressner's stick. And up over the glass. And the faceoff will be at the Ranger blue line.
It's interesting to note Bobby Bourne's the man that Al Arbor selected out there with a lot of room to skate. And Bourne being the best skater on that club, he's allowing him to go out there and freewheel. Bourne, a great goal scorer. He had 30 goals this year. And they had... looks like Eddie Westfall's hurt on the Islander bench when he was just taken into the boards on the previous rush. But right now, Bobby Sheehan, another free skater for the Rangers out there to counteract Bourne.
Each team 2 men short. Here's Lorimer at the Islander line, giving it to Bourne. Bourne dropping it back for Lewis. Now on right wing for Lorimer. 2-on-2 break into Lewis, back to Lorimer. Parrish tied him up, and Sheehan, number 6, has it for the Rangers. Dropping it back, and Gressner, number 4, moves smartly to center. Gressner against Lewis. Lewis takes him out of the play. Smith cleared it over on right wing, and here's Bourne. To Lorimer. Lorimer trying to go around Parrish. Lorimer centered one, and no one was there to get a stick on it. Now Lewis for the Islanders. Over to Bourne. Bourne fakes the shot. Now lets it go. Davidson a save. And he cleared it away. Lewis around on the boards to Lorimer. Lorimer tied up by Gressner, and now Parrish for the Islanders clears it to center ice. Crotche over the boards for New York into the Ranger zone. Trottier shoots one, and he shot wide as Tkachuk had him tied up. And now back comes Vadnais for the Rangers. Vadnais leaving it there for Dave Maloney. Shot it in behind the net, and Persson has it. Persson for Trottier. Trottier trying to work around Dave Maloney. Maloney gives him a rough ride in the corner. Puck still there, and Tkachuk has it for the Rangers. Number 18, Walter Tkachuk, comes to center. Now, some of the penalized players come back on, and the Islanders have a man advantage. And Smith is given a rough ride by Tkachuk. And we're going to have a penalty against Billy Smith for elbowing. Bruce Hood feels that Smith was the aggressor and put his elbow up in that collision with Tkachuk. And Smith is going to get the penalty.
Well, that's not the time to take a penalty when the Islanders had the man advantage and a chance to tie up this game. Billy going out of the net after the puck, and Tkachuk doing a little forechecking as they were man down. He got taken out of the play, and Smith is off for the penalty.
Live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, the New York Rangers and the New York Islanders.
Well, Billy Smith, the most aggressive goaltender in the league, outplaying the puck. And after he plays the puck, you'll see him get his elbow up right there, and that's why he's off for 2 minutes. Howard serving the penalty, and the sides are even at 4 minutes apiece.
Marois, of course, had picked up 2 minors, so he is off for the Rangers. Now here's Vadnais, shoots one, and Smith went to his knees to make the save. Westfall gives it to number 11, Merrick. Merrick trying to work around Vadnais. Vadnais breaks it up and cleared at the center ice. Hard for the Islanders. Back to Merrick. He drops it to Potvin. Each team is a man short, and the Rangers are leading 1-0 on an early goal by Tkachuk as the Islanders dump it in. Davidson behind the net lets Vadnais play the puck over to Dave Maloney. Maloney, number 26, a pass ahead for Murdoch, and he's bumped by Dennis Potvin. Now it's Vadnais. Vadnais moving in, gets around hard up, ends him, and Dennis Potvin has the puck. Here's Potvin to Harris, into Merrick. Merrick, number 11, moving in. And we're going to have play called, and something happened back behind the play, and we're going to have some penalties. Dennis Potvin. And was it Esposito involved with him?
No, Donnie Murdoch, who's first time back since he's been hurt, got involved, and they're both going off for high sticking.
So it's Potvin and Murdoch going off. With the score, the New York Rangers 1, the New York Islanders 0. This is Stanley Cup 79. So 3 against 3, excluding goaltenders. The Rangers are leading 1-0. Here is Persson, number 7, trying to work around McEwen, who tied him up. McEwen and Persson in the corner, and they hold it there. And the faceoff is going to be to the left of John Davidson, the Ranger goaltender, as we look at Wayne Merritt.
Wayne Merritt came over from Cleveland last year in a deal for John Potvin and J.P. Parisi. Merritt coming in when the Islanders felt that they needed that third centerman. Merritt had a great year in St. Louis a couple years ago. Here's
McEwen for the Rangers. Teams are each 2 men short. McEwen, number 27, circles back. Now McEwen in on right wing for Hedberg. Anders Hedberg with a quick wrist shot wide of the net. Persson in the corner for the Islanders. Over onto the other wing for Lewis. Dave Lewis passing in for Bourne, tried to split the defense, and Davidson cleared it away. And back comes Hedberg, number 15, a one-on-one break. Hedberg waits for some help, drops it to Greshner, back to Hedberg, flipped it in front, and Smith comes out and stops McEwen on a great save. Greshner and Persson in the corner, and they want to rough it up. And now in comes a couple of other players, including Hedberg and Dave Lewis, who are now the 2 main eventers. But a big save by Billy Smith on McEwen just prior to that skirmish in the corner.
That's right, Dan. A fine setup by Anders Hedberg, number 15. And you asked me earlier, why did Hedberg, why hasn't he made a better adjustment than Tonelli? Here's the pass by Hedberg over to McEwen. And a good save by Billy Smith. And the reason I said was Hedberg had about 140 points last year in the WHA, and he's down to 79, where Stanley, even though he had less total, he stayed about the same. But Hedberg, definitely a better hockey player, a better all-around hockey player, one of the stars in our league, along with Ulf Nielsen, who's not playing because he's injured. A fine play by Hedberg, very dangerous in open ice.
9:57 left in the first period. 1-0 Rangers leading. Here's Greshner to McEwen, a drive, and he fired wide on the short side. Sheehan dropping it back, and it comes all the way to center. Now Marois comes back on, so the Rangers have the man advantage here briefly, 4 against 3. McEwen in on the wing, and now Howard is on after serving Billy Smith's penalty. Here is Sheehan for McEwen. Into the side of the net, the Rangers with a chance. Smith comes out. Big save on Duguay from close in, and Smith sprawled out and covered up.
Well, Dan, we're seeing why Billy Smith has got just a .49 average in the playoffs in the 2 games he's played. A very solid performer, as is Ed Westphal. Westphal, one of the better players against the Hawks. But Billy Smith coming up big here twice in the last minute. He does it again on the short side when Duguay tried to fake like he was going to pass the puck across and try to jam it in. But Billy Smith, too smart for him, hung to the pipe and gave him nothing to shoot at and throws the puck. A fine goaltender for the Islanders all year long, along with Chico Resch.
The minor penalty to Smith has now expired, as has the minor penalty to Marois, so only Murdoch and Potvin are up. They each have 37 seconds left. So the team's only one man short, Jerry Hart, behind his own goal. Hart being watched closely on the play by Hickey, passes to Trottier. Now Hickey intercepting. Hickey a low shot, and Smith got a stick on it. Duguay bumping with Hart in the corner. Puck still loose on the boards, and the Islanders get it to Westphal, now to Lorimer. And we're going to have some more penalties back behind the play.
Well, actually, what happened, Hickey was breaking out of the zone, and Jerry tried to get in front of him, but they collided, and I think Bruce Hood is really trying to keep this game under control, so he's giving them both double penalties at this time. In a normal game, you might let it go, but with the emotions the way they are, Bruce is not looking for anything to happen that might set off a major brawl, and he's just penalizing them, trying to cool down their emotions somewhat, and he's actually got good control of the game right now. You'll see Hickey coming out of the zone, and actually Jerry was just trying to prevent him from coming out of the zone, and Hickey high-sticked him, so Hart with holding and Hickey with high-sticking, both going off for 2 minutes.
Both penalties come at the 11-minute mark, and again, the teams will be 2 men short. 10 seconds still left in the penalties against Dennis Potvin and against John Murdoch. So a lot of penalties here in this opening period. Here's Lewis for the Islanders, giving it to Trottier, the National Hockey League's leading scorer over the regular season. Trottier to Lewis. Now Potvin and Murdoch are back on, so the teams are only 1 man short. Here's Murdoch. Number 14, Don Murdoch, fires one into the Islanders' zone. Smith sets it up for Pearson behind the net. Stefan Pearson to his own line. Now to center. Flips one in. Gillies charging in after it. Gillies comes up with the puck, but Vadnais knocked him down. Vadnais able to reach out and clear it over into the other corner. And Don Maloney has it for New York. At center for Tkachuk. Walter Tkachuk across the line with Maloney. Maloney ridden out of the play. Puck goes to the corner, and Trottier over on the left wing side for Gillies. Tkachuk tied him up. Now Lewis is hit with a high stick, but cleared the puck to Pearson behind the net. Back to Dave Lewis. To Pearson again. Number 7, Stefan Pearson flips one into the Rangers zone. Vadnais, number 5, back for the Rangers. Out on right wing for Johnstone. Here's Johnstone, who's been a big surprise for the Rangers in this series. He's checked, and Lorimer got it outside the line. Now Harris dropping it for Lorimer. Back to Dennis Potvin. Potvin leads this Islander rush. Flips one into the Ranger zone. Johnstone is there to get it. Flipped it over on the boards. And the Rangers start back. Parrish is the puck carrier. Flips one in for Vickers, but Billy Smith leaves the crease and played the puck himself. Cleared it on the boards, but Greshner knocked it down. Shooting, and Smith just got a piece of that. Lorimer coming up with it for Harris. Number 15, Harris, is checked, and here's Johnstone shooting it back in for the Rangers. Lorimer for the Islanders as the penalized players are back on. The team's at full strength for one of the few times in this period. Here's Potvin with Harris and Tonelli. The pass to Harris in front, and Esposito cleared it away. Hedberg, number 15, speeds away to Johnstone. Johnstone shooting, and an arm save by Billy Smith, and then Billy Harris shot at the center ice. Parrish for the Rangers to Gressner, to Esposito. In with Hedberg. The pass to Hedberg. Persson and Hedberg, a couple of Swedish imports, collide in the corner and hold it there. And the faceoff is going to be in the Islander zone. This is Stanley Cup 79, live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. 6 minutes, 22 seconds left in the first period. Rangers leading the Islanders 1-0. Face-off in the Islander zone. It goes to the corner, and Lewis for the Islanders. Behind the net to Persson. Back to Lewis. Fires one out on right wing for Nystrom. Off his stick, and McEwen for the Rangers. Takes over to Pierre Plante. Plante, number 24, fires a long one into the Islander zone. Persson has it there. On left wing for Lewis. Lewis got it to the line, held in by Marois. Lewis gets it again for the Islanders to Merrick. Merrick is knocked off the puck, and then the puck flips up over the boards right at the Islander blue line. The only scoring play, as we look at Phil Esposito, was by Walter Tkachuk, his fourth of the year from McEwen and Hickey at 3:12 here in the first period.
Well, the 37-year-old Esposito seems to continue to get the big goals in the playoffs. He's being checked today by Wayne Merrick. The Islanders, unfortunately, with all the penalties, haven't been able to get their top gun Bossy out in the ice much this period.
Good point. He has not been out there much, and of course we've had 12 minor penalties. So that has changed the strategy of the coaches. Here's Bourne for the Islanders. Now Merrick to the side of the net to Nystrom. Davidson, the save, another save on Bourne, and he held on. And John Davidson comes up big for the Rangers now.
Even though John Davidson is down, because he's so big and so strong, as the puck is trying to be jammed in from the side on that play by Nystrom, he's able to maintain his balance and stay right there. And then you see a subsequent save by him, and Bobby Bourne tried to put the puck in. He actually should have gotten it up because Davidson, with that big leg, was able to stop it.
Davidson has been in goal for 5 victories in a row for the Rangers in the playoffs. And has won 7 of 8 playoff appearances for the Rangers this season. Double with the face-off as first Esposito, then Murdoch tossed out of there. Puck from the face-off comes to center ice, and Hart is back for the Islanders to Nystrom. Nystrom is checked, and the play is offside because Murdoch was in ahead of the play at the New York Islander blue line. 5:27 now to play in the first period. Rangers leading 1-0. Look at Fred Shero.
Well, Freddie Shero's got his players really jumping on that puck. They're beating the Islanders to the puck this period, and that's why they've controlled the play. Al Arbor's got to start getting his players to come out with that puck smoother and quicker so that they can start getting some offensive attack going. Right now, it's early in the game. It's 1-0 for the Rangers, but the Islanders got to start taking over control if they're going to do anything.
Here's Hart for the Islanders to Potvin. Dennis Potvin being forechecked by Tkachuk. Potvin leaving it at his own line. Now the Islanders come slowly to center. Hart to Bossy. Mike Bossy doing some stick handling. Knocked down on the play. Got it in front for the Rangers third. Here's Gillies running Dave Maloney in against the boards. And that causes a face-off in the Ranger zone this time.
Well, when the Rangers can get on the Islander defenseman with 2 men, they do. But this fella, Clark Gillies, is able to do it alone. He can forecheck by himself and bottle up the Ranger defenseman. If he gets on a defenseman, he's strong enough to knock him off the puck and come up with the puck. In mid-zone, the Rangers are just pulling their wings back and forechecking with 1 man.
Tkachuk against Trottier on the face-off. Now Gillies in the corner. Going to be a penalty against the Rangers. The shot from the point is blocked, and now as Vickers comes to center, play is called and a holding penalty coming up against the Rangers and against Walter Tkachuk. So the Islanders will have a man advantage here as Bruce Hood sends Walter Tkachuk to the penalty box for holding.
Well, right after the face-off, you'll see Tkachuk and Trottier going for the face-off. and right there, he puts his arms around and he grabs him, and as Trotier's trying to break free for the puck, Tkachuk's still holding him, and at that time, Bruce Hood's arm went up. It occurred right after the face-off. A little more interference than is necessary, and Bruce Hood calls it, giving the Islanders another power play advantage, and the Islanders, with an extremely strong power play all season long, haven't been able to capitalize on their opportunities today.
All ready for a face-off at the Ranger blue line. There's Tkachuk in the penalty box. Islanders trailing in the game 1-0. Dennis Potvin feeding it into Gillies on right wing. Gillies being checked by Johnstone. Now Dave Maloney comes back to help out, and they all jam up in the corner and hold it there. And the face-off will be in the New York Rangers zone. The Islanders of Al Arbor have Trottier at center. Bossy, their 69 goal scorer on a power play, plays his off wing. He's on the left side. Gillies is on the right side. Pearson and Potvin are the point men. Now the Rangers make a penalty killing change. Duguay and Johnstone come out. And they will join Vadnais and Dave Maloney.
Well, the Islander defensemen, Pearson and Potvin, pass the puck as well as anybody, and they're very dangerous back there.
Now from the face-off, here is Pearson leaving it for Potvin. Potvin flipping it in front for Bossy. Can't get turned around, and Vadnais cleared it away. Pearson holding it in for the Islanders. Puck along the boards, and Johnstone got it to center for the Rangers, and Dennis Potvin has it. Here's Potvin on the Islander power play, flipping one in. Maloney back for the Rangers. Trottier knocked it off his stick, and Vadnais has to go back to Johnstone, and Johnstone clears to center for Pierre Plante. One man back. Plante with a shot, and that goes off Pearson and went up over the glass. And Pearson and Plante wind up on the seat of their pants on the ice in the Islander zone.
Well, there's a man that the Rangers have to stop, especially in situations such as this. You give this guy a shot. He got 69 goals during the regular season. He didn't have any shots on goal the first game, and he's got none so far this game, and that's what you've got to do to stop the Islanders. But the Ranger penalty killers very aggressive. They had 5 short-handed goals in the series so far with Philadelphia and the Islanders, and they set a record for themselves and for the league in that first series.
Here's Potvin to Pearson, back to Dennis Potvin. Islanders on the power play into Trottier on left wing. Trottier shoots, and Davidson a pad save. And the Rangers immediately clear it down the ice, and Dave Maloney was there to shoot it away. Dennis Potvin with 50 seconds left in the penalty to Tkachuk. For Trottier to Tonelli, number 27. Tonelli trying to flip it through to Bossy. Vadnais broke it up. Pearson shoots wide. Here's Bossy in front. Tonelli, a shot, and it's blocked at the defense by Dave Maloney, who sits on top of the puck after making a key block in front of the Ranger goal.
Well, a fine play by Bossy. He knows the goaltender challenges him off to the side, and Bossy spots Tonelli in the slot. He gives it to him. Tonelli gets rid of it quickly, but the shot is blocked by the defenseman, never getting to the goaltender. A fine play by Bossy. Unfortunately, Tonelli's shot didn't get on the net for the Islanders. Otherwise, he might have had Davidson beat. Davidson had to go out and challenge Bossy on the side and wouldn't have been able to get back in that net. But the Ranger defense playing this way all playoff long has been a big factor in keeping the Islanders off the scoreboard.
There's Maloney, who made that key block as Drescher clears it down the ice. 32 seconds left in Tkachuk's penalty. 12th penalty of the game. 7 against the Rangers, 5 against the Islanders. Now Pearson leaving it for Dennis Potvin. Potvin on left wing to Kazicki, number 21. Esposito tried to clear it. Potvin holding it in. Potvin over to Pearson. Flipped it over on right wing, and they rule that puck game outside the line on the way over. And then when the Islanders shot it back in, the offside is called. And the faceoff will be at the New York Rangers blue line. John Tonelli, the newcomer to the Islanders this year. Here's Harris on right wing. Harris cutting in, center, Tonelli in front, and he was in too close to get a shot away. Rangers try and work it out. Now Tkachuk is back on as they do clear at the center, and the Rangers have killed off the penalty. Pearson to Potvin. Here's Dennis Potvin. Crossing center, firing one in. Don Murdoch and Kazicki back to the net. Kazicki comes up with the puck to Tonelli. Tonelli then tied up in the play, and Don Maloney, the Ranger rookie and the younger brother of Dave Maloney, fires it in. Billy Smith out of the net. He hit Don Maloney with it. Don Maloney trying to center. Now the Islanders, Kazicki gets it to center for Tonelli. Tonelli on a 2-on-1 to Harris. Shoots one, and Davidson slides out to make the save. Puck comes to Hart at the point. Over to Lewis. Now Kazicki. And Murdoch fight for it on the boards. Parrish gets it to Esposito. Back to Dave Parrish, number 3. Parrish trying to work his way around the defense. Billy Smith cleared it. Jerry Hart checked by Esposito behind the net. Esposito in front, and Don Maloney couldn't control it, and Kazicki fires it away for the Islanders. Going back is Marois. They rule the Rangers could have played it, so there's no icing on the play. Marois to McEwen. McEwen head-manning it to Vickers. Hit with a hip check by Lorimer. And that check put the play offside at the Islander blue line, and we're down to 1:38 left in the first period. Still the Rangers leading 1-0.
Well, you'll see Davidson come out, and actually Billy Harris couldn't field his pass very well on his backhand, but Davidson's still there to make the save. And Donnie Murdoch coming down to help ride Billy Harris out of the play. But John Davidson coming up big again for the Rangers as the Islanders now continue to get some chances, but the Rangers back checking feverishly, stopping them at every opportunity.
Still the only goal of the period by Kachuk. Here's Marois at the point, his shot. That's blocked. And Merrick feeds to Nystrom, number 23. In on right wing for Bourne. Bourne to Merrick, and Davidson got a stick on it to break it up. Kachuk for the Rangers flips it to center. Lorimer trying to clear it back in. Now here's Vickers for the Rangers. Shoots one into the Islander zone, and Kachuk was in ahead of the play. And offside at the Islander blue line. We're down to 1:12 to play, and Walter Kachuk has come on and played some sparkling hockey here in the playoffs for the Rangers.
He certainly has, and he's been a stalwart for them all the way through the series. In the Philadelphia series, they made him acting captain when Dave Maloney was hurt, and he felt that gave him a big lift, and he got a couple of goals against Philadelphia when they put him out.
Here's Lewis back for the Islanders for the face-off. Lewis trying to work it out of there. Fires it over to Pearson. Less than a minute to play in the period. Nystrom leaving it for Lewis. Back to Nystrom. Dumps a long one into the Ranger zone. Marois, number 25, is there to clear it to Vickers. And Kachuk comes up with the puck. He overskates it, and Pearson for the Islanders shoots it back in. Bourne going to the corner. McEwen passing it out on right wing, and the Rangers, Marois, then shoots it down the ice, and that constitutes icing. And the faceoff will come all the way back into the Ranger zone with 34 seconds now left in the period. And Marois perhaps didn't have to shoot that puck down the ice in that instance, Lou Nanne, and causes the faceoff in the Ranger zone.
That's right, Dan. It could be dangerous at this time of the period, but he wanted to make sure they got a change. Maybe they were tired. And Billy Smith down there is just catching his breath. And speaking of Kachuk before, he's probably as strong a player as there is in the National League on the skate. He's very tough to knock over his skates. He's got a strong, wide balance when he comes down on you, and people just can't seem to knock him over. This fella, Ron Duguay, playing center right now. He also plays right wing for the Rangers. A draft from Sudbury. He's been one of the outstanding performers for the Rangers since he's come out of junior. Really a strong performer for the Rangers. Mike Bossy coming on at this stage of the game, trying to get a shot on the net off the draw here.
Bossy, 69 goals over the regular season, was held without a shot on goal in game 1. Sheehan now for the Rangers, can't get it out of there. Here's Trotze to Gillies. Gillies right in, shoots. Davidson the save on Gillies from close in. And 3 Rangers go to the ice to help John Davidson freeze that puck.
Well, Gillies makes a nice move to come over on Davidson. He tries to put it upstairs as Johnny's going down, but Davidson challenging Gillies makes the play, stops the puck, even though the rebound's lying there for a second. There's John, and you'll see the rebound. Bossy tried to get a shot at it, but Badney had Bossy stick in the air, and then the puck was frozen. A fine play by Davidson, holding his ground, standing up, playing as outstanding goal as he's ever has in his life, and just been the leader for the Rangers all through the playoff series with Philadelphia and now with the Islanders.
19 seconds left in the first period. Rangers lead 1-0. From the faceoff, Pearson at the point, shoots one, and Blocked at the defense, and Maloney now for New York. Clears to his young brother Don, who got up to center. Here are the Rangers' bad net. Into the center ice area for Kachuk. Kachuk fires the long one in. Hot bat lost it to Duguay, and Smith came out and stopped Duguay as the period comes to an end. And that was almost a costly play by the Islanders in their own end. And Billy Smith had to be very alert to stop Duguay. So period one comes to an end with the only goal, a score early in the period by Walter Kachuk.
Rangers 10, the Islanders 12.
Islanders in the first period, 12 shots on goal to 10 for the New York Rangers. And so at the end of the first period, the score, the New York Rangers 1, the New York Islanders 0. We pause now for station identification.
Game. And my guest for this first intermission is Phil Esposito of the New York Rangers. Phil, what's going on with the Rangers? You played poorly at the end of the regular season, but you blew out the Flyers, winning 4 straight after dropping the first one. You dominated Islanders in the first game and again this afternoon.
Well, in the first place, we really didn't blow out the Flyers. We played better than them, but they have a great hockey team, and we outworked them, that's all. But we're playing well against these guys, too. We're working hard like crazy, and it's working for us because we know that they are the best hockey team in the league. I mean, they get the most points, so obviously they're the best hockey team. What we have to do is outwork them, and that's what we're doing. And we're kind of, you know, loose, and it's really like we have nothing to lose, you know what I mean?
That's right, the feeling the Rangers have nothing to lose. The Islanders really have to win this series, and really the Stanley Cup, or else their season will be counted as a failure.
Well, it just reminds me of the year we went against Flyers. The Bruins and the Flyers beat us in the 6th game. You know, they were real loose and all that, and the pressure was really more on us than they were. And like now, I think the pressure is more on the Islanders to win than it is to us. We're just going game by game and hoping that we can keep this thing going that we have going. We're a good hockey team. We're disciplined, and that's the key of our success, I think, right now.
Rangers really the darlings of New York City this year. Everything you do from here on is gravy.
It is something. Last year we used to sneak around the back ways. This year we're walking right down Broadway.
With 12 playoff points for you so far, you're starting to pass some pretty big names on the all-time Stanley Cup scoring list. Jeffrey Mahovlich, and you're coming up on guys like Richard, both Mario and Henri, Lemaire, Cornway, and also Bobby Hull.
Well, those fellows it's great to have your name associated with guys like that, number one. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't really look to score like I used to. I used to be very angry if I didn't get a point or score, but I get in front of the net now, and I can appreciate, Hodge, if you're watching, Cashman, if you're watching, I appreciate what you guys did. Never did before, but I really do now. I mean, you take a beating in front of the net, you know that. I didn't know that. And Dornhofer, he's always with you. I appreciate his work in front of the net all those years, too. It's really something, and Murdoch and Maloney are scoring more goals now, and it's really great that we've got a unified bunch of guys.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you very much, Scott.
Phil Esposito, our guest from the New York Rangers. Let's go upstairs now to Dan Kelly.
Thank you, Scott Wahle. An interesting first period, and I think Phil Esposito may have had a very good point. He talked about how loose the Rangers feel. And I thought in the early part of the period particularly, the Islanders did seem a little uptight, although as the period went along, they seemed to loosen up and play their own type of hockey game. But they only go to the period, the goal by Kachuk, and the Rangers lead 1-0. Right now, let's have a look at the playoff scoring race in the National Hockey League to this point. Phil Esposito, the man you just met, and rookie Don Maloney are tied for the scoring lead, each with 12 points, 4 goals, and 8 assists. And then right behind the great Guy Lafleur of the Montreal Canadiens with 11 points, followed by Walter Kachuk with 10, then Lemaire with 9, and Darryl Sittler of the now eliminated Toronto Maple Leafs with 9 points. Just a look at the top scorers in the National Hockey League in the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. I can't describe enough the tension and the electricity in this building, the Nassau Coliseum here today. I've been here many times, but with the Rangers and the Islanders, it is something special. Here again is Scott Wahle.
Okay, Dan Kelly, thank you very much. Semifinals underway in the NHL, the Rangers and the New York Islanders, and Montreal and the Boston Bruins. Game 1 of that Montreal series 2 days ago.
Rangers goalie
Goalie John Davidson making save after save early in the first period. But Ryan Trottier's hard slap shot draws first blood for the Islanders. The Rangers take advantage of the power play on Don Maloney's 5th playoff goal. A hard bullet past Glenn Chico Resch to tie the game. With just 2:03 left in the first period, Carol Vodney's hard slap shot is kicked away by Resch. The rebound is handled and poked in by Eddie Johnstone. After one period, the Rangers 2, Islanders 1. The Rangers added to their lead on passing from Bob Sheehan to Pat Hickey, setting up Ron Duguay, who beats Resch for a 3-1 Rangers lead. Pierre Plante beats 2 defenders in the corner. The pass in front to Bob Sheehan beats Resch on the short side for another Rangers score. After 2 periods, Rangers 4, Islanders 1. It was a scoreless third period as the Rangers played disciplined hockey and went on to win Game 1 in the best-of-7 series 4-1.
Getting set. He handles it well. Gets it back to Park. Park right in front. Here's Rattel. Over goes the middle to the shot. They score! Rattel on the rebound. Now the Bruins on the left side. Marcotte dropping it to McNabb. Into the corner. Lupien is on the ice. Here is O'Reilly. O'Reilly in front. They score! Marcotte. Now Lafleur. Down on that right wing, he goes to the line, blasts the shot. Lafleur picks up the rebound, he centered it, and it's cleared back into the corner. Here's Lafleur centering it. Here's Rattel, dropping it back, intercepted by Lafleur. Lafleur ahead it goes. Here's Rysdorf. Leroux scoring it. He scores! Important seconds, the next 39ers saw Rattel roll right in front. Cashman failed to deflect it into the open side. What a great scoring opportunity. Here's Robinson. Over goes to Jarvis going in. He scores! Jarvis! Just after the Bruins had a tremendous chance to tie it up with Cashman walking right in front and driving.
Okay, that brings you up to date. The Bruins try to even their series with Montreal tonight in Canada. We're watching the Rangers and the Islanders. After one period, the Rangers have the lead. Coming up, first period highlights with Lou Nanne. And with the score, the Rangers 1, the Islanders nothing. Stanley Cup 79 continues in just a moment. Here's Scott Wahle talking with our guest commentator today, Lou Nanne. And Lou, 1 goal that belongs to the Rangers. Walter Tkachuk at .312.
That's right, Scott. You'll notice the shot from the blue line from McEwen. It hits the pipe, and Billy Smith lost it momentarily. He sees it initially, loses it. It's in his skates, but Tkachuk, big and strong, right in the crease, pushes it by. And here's a shot from the blue line, bouncing by the left post. And right as Billy Smith turns around, it comes down in between his legs, and that's Tkachuk with 3 Islanders around him. As I said, very strong on his skates at all times, and he pushed it by Billy Smith to give the Rangers the lead, 1-0. You'll see, the play in front here. Everybody looking at the shooter, and Tkachuk moving towards the net, just as a goal scorer should do. A man in position to score goals gets goals, and that's what Tkachuk was at that time.
Islanders out shooting Rangers 12-10 in that first period. Both goaltenders exceptional. John Davidson in particular, but Billy Smith has another nice save coming up here toward the end of the period.
Well, that's right. Billy Smith goes out to play the puck, and those boards are very, very fast, and the puck bounces right by him. And now Duguay coming in with a lot of speed, really can't control it that well. It gets out in front of him, and as Billy Smith knocks it away, it hits Dugay's stick in the shaft, and Duguay couldn't put it by him. Duguay never really had good control of it, otherwise he could put it in.
Take another look at it here.
You'll see Duguay cutting across Billy Smith when he knows that the man's moving across the front of him. He just plays him off with his stick. And fortunately for Smith and the Islanders, Duguay couldn't control it and couldn't put it by him because he had a lot of net there.
You are listening to the expert commentary of our guest analyst, Lou Nanne, and the expert play-by-play of Dan Kelly. And second period action is upcoming between the Rangers and the New York Islanders from Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, New York.
To the other end, John Davidson, who has been red hot. And we're ready to go with period 2 as Bruce Hood gets ready to drop the puck. Rangers leading 1-0. And from the face-off, it's into the Islanders' zone. Dennis Potvin, number 5, back to get it. Potvin being watched on the play by Sheehan, cleared it out on the right wing boards to center. Greshner handled it there. Now here's Harris, number 15 for the Islanders. He fired one in. Davidson sets it up for Greshner. Here's Greshner on right wing to Sheehan, and back behind the play, an interference penalty coming up as Kazicki and Parrish have some words. And Bruce Hood is going to hand out the 13th penalty of this game. And it is going to be an interference penalty against Ron Greshner, or against, Parrish. Live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, the New York Rangers and the New York Islanders. Well, we had double penalties there. Parrish for interference, Kazicki for slashing at the 24-second mark here of the second period. So each team is a man short. Potvin, number 5 in his own zone for Lorimer. He feeds it to center to Tonelli. Here's John Tonelli moving in. His shot is blocked. Tonelli goes to the corner. Marois takes him out of the play. Now around on the boards, Hickey, number 16. Dropping it back for McEwen. McEwen trying to move it out of there. Back to Hickey, and the Rangers have a 3-on-2 break to center. Hickey dropping it back, and that puts the play offside as Hickey dropped it to Marois and then went in ahead of the play offside at the Islander blue line. 1-0 is the score in the hockey game. The only goal, Walter Tkachuk, is 4th of the playoffs from McEwen and Hickey at 3:12 of the first period. And as we mentioned, the Islanders outshot the Rangers 12-10 in the opening period. Right now, a minute 29 left in the penalties to Kazicki and to Dave Parrish as Wayne Merrick gets ready to face off against Ron Duguay. Merrick gets it, and Pearson gives it to Lewis, back to Pearson as the Islanders try and work out of their own zone. Here's Merrick on right wing. Passing it into Lewis. Across the line for Bourne. Bourne gives it to Lewis. Lewis to the corner. Marois whacked it away. And then Duguay got it to center ice. Pearson covers up for the Islanders. The Rangers have it again. Here's Marois. A pad to Hickey. Broken up by Lewis. Drops it to Pearson. Pearson to Bourne. Bourne, number 14. Speeds in on right wing. Bourne gives it to Merrick. Right into the...
Fine play. You'll see Bobby Bourne race down the ice, and he drops the pass to Merrick. Merrick taking a shot and putting it through Davidson's legs. This place is going crazy. Here you see the drop pass by Bourne. Merrick scooting around to the outside, faking a pass now to Bourne as he looks at him right there. Then he looks up and he sees Davidson moving out, and he put it right through his legs. Tying the score at 1-1. A fine play by Bourne and a better one by Merrick.
Wayne Merrick is second to the playoffs at 1:37 here of period 2, and it's tied 1-1. Bourne gets an assist, as does Stefan Pearson. So the drop pass from Bourne to Merrick, who fired it between Davidson's pads, and it's tied at 1. Here's Hart for the Islanders in his own zone to Potvin. Potvin flipping it around on the boards, and Bourne starts out of there for New York. Here's Bourne for the Islanders, trying to work around Dave Maloney. Bourne drops it to Hart. Over to the other point, but it comes out to the center ice area. Now Vadnais for the Rangers. Here's Carl Vadnais. Cuts behind the net, centered it. Potvin was there to clear it away. Now for Bourne. He's checked, and Merrick starts back for the Islanders. Merrick with Jerry Hart on a 2-on-2 break. Merrick to Hart, who's too well checked by Maloney. And Plante, number 24 for the Rangers. At center ice to Dave Maloney. In across the line to Johnstone. Johnstone fires one in front. Here's Plante in the corner. Centered, and Hart almost put it in his own net. Rangers, Maloney centering one. Loose in front, it comes to Maloney again. Dave Maloney to Vadnais. Vadnais shooting, and he fired wide. Johnstone for the Rangers. Gets it behind the Islander goal, but Hart for New York cleared it out for Bourne. who shot it to center, and Dave Maloney has it there to Vadnais. Vadnais flipping it back in. Now Hart on right wing for Bourne. He was checked by Don Maloney to Esposito. Esposito shoots one. The save made. The Rangers have it again. Greshner to Murdoch in behind the net. They work it. A shot and a save on Don Maloney by Billy Smith.
Well, Billy Smith made two big saves, that one right there. But earlier, when the pass was being centered out, Jerry Hart inadvertently almost puts it in his own net. As you'll see right in front of the net, Hart trying to push it to the corner, pushes it at the net. But Billy Smith, ever quick, ever agile, and that's one thing you have to be as a goaltender, ever ready. He made the save right there to keep this game tied.
You ever pop a few on your own net in your defenseman days with the North Stars, Mr. Nanne?
Probably more than I got in the other net.
I guess all defensemen have put one in their own net at some time or another. Hart is thankful he didn't do it there, and Smith had to make a key save. Here's Greshner at center ice, firing a long one in. The teams are back at full strength. Smith sets it up for Dave Lewis. 1-1 the score here in the second period. Lewis trying to feed it out. Esposito is all over him. Now Trottier being checked by Murdoch. Puck comes loose. Rangers get it. A shot by Murdoch is stopped at the defense. Now Don Maloney into the corner. And Gillies gives him a rough ride. Murdoch along the boards is checked. Trottier trying to work it out of there. Oh, and Esposito bumped Trottier. Islanders get it to Pearson. Pearson for Westphal. Westphal to Lewis. Back to Westphal, who's too closely checked. Penalty coming up against the Rangers. Here's Westphal. Back of the net, and as he is checked, play is called. And now the penalty coming up against the Rangers. With the score, the Islanders won, the Rangers won. This is Stanley Cup 79. Greshner, but here's another look at the Islander goal by Wayne Merrick.
Well, you see Johnny Davidson coming out to challenge the shooter, as he does right there. Actually, the puck was shot right through his legs. It's just that one moment that he took the stride is when he opened up his legs, and that's all Wayne Merrick had time for, and he hit it. A great goal by Merrick on that play.
Really was. Merrick didn't rush himself, took a good look, let Davidson make that move, and fired it between his pads. There's Greshner in the penalty box. He is off for holding. And the Islanders on the power play and a chance to take the lead in this game. Islanders have had just one power play goal in the playoffs thus far, however. Here's Gillies, back to the point to Pearson. Pearson's shot is deflected wide. Bossy, back to the left point to Potvin. To Bossy. Bossy trying to slide it in front, and it's intercepted, and Hedberg for the Rangers gets it outside the line. Gillies to Pearson. Stepan Pearson in on right wing for Bossy. Bossy trying to flip it in, and the Rangers' Vadnais slaps it out to center ice. Potvin races back to beat Hedberg to it. Here's Dennis Potvin. Kachuk bumped him, and Hedberg has the puck. Here's Hedberg for the Rangers. Shoots one, and he shot it wide by a couple of feet. Gillies leaving it for Trottier. Trottier trying to work around Vadnais. Brian Trottier in the corner, centers it to Bossy, but Hedberg is there to intercept. And Anders Hedberg cleared it away. Billy Smith feeding it up to Pearson. A minute left in the Ranger penalty as Bossy circles at his own line. Now to Tonelli on right wing to Kazicki, number 21. Kazicki for Tonelli. Tonelli along the boards to Kazicki. Kazicki fakes the shot, passes to Dennis Potvin. Potvin to Pearson. Pearson into Bossy, shoots, and he missed by a couple of feet. There's Potvin with a drive, and that's blocked. Potvin again for the Islanders. To Kazicki. To Dennis Potvin. To Pearson. Shooting, and it stopped at the defense. Potvin with a chance in front. And Bossy was too closely checked in the play. And Plant for the Rangers drops it to Vadnais. Vadnais has a look and cleared it to center ice. 15 seconds left in Greshner's penalty. Here's Dennis Potvin for Kazicki. Poked away, picked up by Harris. Harris to Potvin. Shoots one, stopped at the defense, and then cleared away by Dave Maloney. Just as Greshner comes back on, so the Rangers have killed it off. Pearson for the Islanders. At center to Harris, number 15, in for Lauren Henning. Hopped over his stick. Marois back to the net. Henning into forecheck him. Now Marois and Harris fight for it. Here's Howitt. Into the corner for Henning to Howitt, and he couldn't control the pass. Gilgay for the Rangers trying to clear it. Here's Howitt along the boards into the corner. Around behind the net now. McEwen is pushed in there by Harris. Howitt got it in front, but Vickers intercepts, and now play is called. And a holding penalty called against Billy Harris of the Islanders. And that will give the Rangers a power play opportunity. This is Stanley Cup 79, live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. Cast all season long, and here's a look at our replay crew in action on a penalty against Billy Harris. And it is
Billy Harris takes out McEwen right there. Dan, he just held him, and Bruce Hood is calling all that interference and holding today.
It was called holding, and the Rangers have their first full power play of the game. Esposito moving in, but Westfall breaks it up and cleared it away. And the Rangers have to go back. The Rangers have been going to be another penalty coming up here against the Islanders. Here comes Murdoch. A delayed penalty coming up again against the Islanders as Murdoch circles in the center ice area. Davidson has gone off, and now Murdoch wisely hands the puck right to the Islanders, and that causes the stoppage in play and the penalty coming up for elbowing against Dave Lewis. And not only will the Rangers have a power play, but they will go against the Islanders, who will be 2 men short now.
Well, Dave Lewis is going over to check his man, but he gets that elbow up way too high. And as he does that on Esposito, right there, Bruce Hood had a delayed penalty call. And now the Rangers will have a 2-man advantage for 1 minute and 26 seconds unless they score. And they've got a chance to break the deadlock. The Islanders had been coming on very strong just before these penalties. They were skating much more fluidly than they had all game. But right now the momentum can shift and shift quickly because the Rangers have a 2-man advantage.
Sign honoring Islander great defenseman Dennis Potvin. Speaking of great ones, big number 77, Bill Esposito, an old buddy of Blue Nanne from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario.
Well, there's a few Sault Ste. Marie boys in the league, and he and his brother are the best. Bill Esposito, as you know, probably more dangerous even at this time than anybody in the league from the slot and the power play, and that's someone that the Islanders are going to have to contend with right now for 1 minute and 26 seconds while the Rangers have a 2-man advantage.
Rangers lead all teams in power play goals in the playoffs with 10. And right now they have a 2-man advantage. Here's McEwen, number 27, circling back. Mike McEwen, a good offensive defenseman, passes to Greshner, and Greshner gives it back for McEwen across the line, over to the right side for Murdoch. Don Murdoch, number 14, to Greshner. Greshner over to McEwen, back for Greshner again. Now to Murdoch. Murdoch to the side of the net to Esposito, to Greshner. Greshner has a look to Murdoch, to Esposito, shoots one. Off the skate, McEwen a shot. Billy Smith the save. Murdoch shoots, and caught on the ice, Dennis Potvin stops that shot and saved what seemed to be a sure Ranger goal.
Well, I want to tell you, that was a couple great saves right there. Not only on the initial shots, but after Billy Smith is down and the Rangers keep getting control, they turn around and get another couple shots, and the final one was saved by Dennis Potvin right there, who probably more than anything else is taking a rest. Having a 2-man disadvantage right now, that's what he'd want to do. Here's Esposito with the initial shot, goes off Lorimer's skate by the net, comes all the way around to the Rangers again, and on this ensuing shot, Billy Smith makes a great save. Now you'll see it come right back out. And here, Dennis Potvin sliding down and just makes a super save, takes it in the chest up high, and takes a rest along with it because the Rangers are putting on a lot of pressure, and Dennis needs a bit of a rest.
Here's the penalty situation. 50 seconds left in the first penalty to Billy Harris. A minute 24 left in the second penalty to Dave Lewis. So the Islanders aren't out of the woods as yet. They are still 2-men short. Rangers with Esposito, Murdoch, Maloney, McEwen, and Greshner all inside the Islander line. They get it to McEwen, to Greshner, shoots one, and Smith the save. Esposito hit the post. Murdoch is robbed by Billy Smith. Now it is McEwen to Esposito, and he fired wide. McEwen again from the left point, and it's knocked off his stick by Lorimer. And then Lorimer is pulled down by McEwen. And as the Rangers touch the puck, McEwen is getting a penalty for pulling down Lorimer, and Lorimer made a wise move in getting McEwen to take that penalty. Live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, the New York Rangers and the New York Islanders. Dan Kelly and Lou Nanne and Scott Wahle in the Nassau Coliseum, Uniondale, New York. We have just had a penalty assessed against the New York Rangers, and Lou Nanne, it is a great play by Bob Lorimer to get this penalty called against the Rangers.
Yes, it is. As Mike McEwen steps in front of him, as Lorimer, really pretends like he's making a big effort to get out of there. Now he'll take a little dive, just drawing a penalty. It was somewhat of an interference on the part of McEwen, but I'd say a good dive on the part of Lorimer when you really look at it. McEwen getting a hooking penalty, and right now the clock says 1:51, and it should be 2 minutes, and that's why we've got somewhat of a delay. But in a questionable situation like this, and when Bruce was strong enough to give the Islanders 2 penalties, I guess he felt strong enough to give the Rangers 1 on that, because there was some interference, maybe a little hooking on the play. Bob just made it look a little better than it was. The opening faceoff.
Islanders 2 men short, the Rangers now 1. Here the Rangers getting it to center ice. Sheehan moving in on right wing, trying to center it for Hedberg. Now it comes to the point for Vadnais. His shot is blocked. Here's Sheehan, shoots, he scores! And the Rangers take the lead again.
Well, Bobby Sheehan taking that puck off the boards on his forehand on the far side. He's got a good angle, and he lets go with a slap shot. Here you'll see Sheehan just winding up, moving towards the net, and then he just cranked one right by Billy Smith. Sheehan called up from New Haven. He had 81 points during the year. He had an outstanding year for New Haven. And he's come on to give the Rangers a lift in the playoffs ever since the second game of the playoffs. An outstanding offensive hockey player, and he's proven it time and time again with the Rangers in these playoffs.
8:32, the time of the goal by Bobby Sheehan. His 3rd goal of the playoffs, assisted by Vadnais, and 8:32 is the time. And it was a power play goal. The Islanders were 2 men short, the Rangers only 1. So Sheehan's goal a power play, and it is a 2-1 Ranger lead. Each team is a man short now, as Steve Vickers, number 8, tries to work it out of his own zone. Now Greshner, tied up by Merrick, but Duguay, number 10, has it for the Rangers. Greshner picks it up to Vickers. Vickers headmanning to Duguay. Duguay circles back. Drops it back for Parrish, number 3, over to Vickers. Here's Vickers flipping one in. A rolling shot. Smith makes the save. Hart cleared it away. And Bourne, number 14, circles in his own zone. Bourne dropping it back behind the net for Jerry Hart. Hart holding on to the puck, now starting to move out of there. Here's Lewis back on, so the Islanders have the man advantage as Lorimer works it in on right wing. Lorimer against Parrish behind the net. Parrish knocks down Lorimer, and the Rangers are going to get a penalty. Puck loose along the boards. Vickers coming up with it, and now play is called, and the Rangers are going to be 2 men short. With the score, the New York Rangers 2, the New York Islanders 1. This is Stanley Cup 79. Of the Rangers for holding, and that's going to leave the Rangers 2 men short.
Here's Bobby Sheehan's goal as he cranks that slap shot right by Billy Smith to put the Rangers ahead, but the Islanders right now with a 2-man advantage can tie it up.
11 penalties in the game against the Rangers, 8 against the Islanders to this point, all minors. 40 seconds left in McEwen's penalty, and now he is joined by Parrish. So New York Rangers are 2 men short, and Kachuk trying to clear it out. Potvin held it in, and now the Rangers on second try do clear the zone, and Persson has to go back for the Islanders. For Trottier to Potvin, into Bossy, back to Dennis. Potvin shoots, and Davidson kicked out his pad. I'm not sure if it hit Davidson to the post. Here's Persson to Gillies, into the corner. Back to the point again for Dennis Potvin to Persson. Persson to Potvin. Back to Persson. To Potvin. Shoots one. That's wide of the target. Bossy behind the net for Trottier. Trottier trying to center it. Now McEwen is back on, so the Rangers are just one man short. Persson from the right point. Into Trottier. Number 19, Trottier to Potvin. Davidson, a big save. And Kachuk cleared it away for the Rangers. And the Islanders have to go back. A minute left in the penalty now to Parrish, as the Rangers are only one man short. Bossy to Trottier. Brian Trottier trying to work around Vadnais. Trottier behind the net. Trottier flips one to Potvin. Shoots, hit the crossbar. Trottier hit the crossbar. And the Rangers, Plante comes to center. Long backhander handled easily by Billy Smith. Back come the Islanders. Trottier. Leaving it for Gillies. Gillies stick handles by one man over to Persson, and the puck comes outside the blue line. And Persson has to backtrack. Shot it back in, and the play is offside at the New York Ranger blue line. Mike Bossy, a 69 goal scorer over the regular season, did not have a shot on goal in game one of this series. We asked him how come.
Well, I did have a chance to take a couple of shots, and the defensemen were coming out and blocking them. And it was just like the whole team was playing. They played very confident. They played a very good defensive, offensive game. And they caught us a little flat. They had just come off beating Philadelphia 4-1 in the series. And I think they're a hot team. And we're going to have to play our best to beat them.
And the Rangers at this point lead in the game 2-1 as Marois goes to clear the puck. It hits Kazicki, and he has been injured. I think I said earlier, Lou Nanne, on a shot that hit the crossbar that Brian Trottier shot, it was Dennis Potvin. He really drilled that shot, and it had Davidson beaten but hit the crossbar.
That's right, Dan. As a matter of fact, Potvin had 3 great shots. Davidson made 2 outstanding stops initially. The first one, as he was moving towards Gillis, Potvin takes a shot, and he made the stop, and then he made another stop, and then Potvin hit the pipe. Here's where Marois, clearing the puck, hit Kazicki right in the temple. And actually, he wasn't trying it. He was just trying to get it down the ice with the Rangers still short-handed for 13 seconds. But Kazicki's getting up right now. He probably is cut. I wouldn't doubt that he would be.
A couple of good-looking guys here at the Nassau Coliseum. They must be sitting behind us somewhere.
I was going to say I like the guy on your right.
Well, you see our broadcast position, which is right among the crowd here at the Nassau Coliseum. And for much of the play today, it is very difficult for me to hear Lou Nanne, and I'm sure it's hard for you to hear me. It is a noisy place.
Well, that's right, Dan. There's tremendous amount of excitement here, and the fans are very, very boisterous. And when you got good fans like this, they're loud, they're encouraging the players. As we look at Kazicki, and the one thing you want to worry about in Kazicki's case, there was a broken jaw because it did get him right around that cheekbone. But these fans are solidly behind the Islanders, and they're trying to get them to tie this game up.
8:37 left in the second period. Rangers leading 2-1. Parrish has just 8 seconds left in his penalty. Merrick working it into Nystrom on right wing. Shoots one. Davidson kicked out his left pad to make the save. Now the Rangers break out of there. Parrish out of the penalty box as Don Maloney moves in. Shoots, and Billy Smith the save. And there to clear it away, baseball style, was Dennis Potvin. Marois takes over in his own zone for the Rangers. Passing to Mike McEwen, back to Marois, to McEwen again. Merrick in court checking. He upends the Ranger player, and he's going to get a tripping penalty. As he upends Mike McEwen, and Wayne Merrick will go off for tripping. This is Stanley Cup 79, live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York.
Wayne Merrick sitting in the penalty box. Here you see the penalty as McEwen makes a good move coming back and trying to get away from Merrick. Merrick skates, get caught up in McEwen's. He trips him, and so now the Rangers have a power play.
And the Islanders try and clear it into the Rangers zone and clear it up over the boards right at the Islander bench. Face-off will be outside the New York Islander blue line. Merrick is off for tripping. The time of the penalty was the 12-minute mark here of the second period. Rangers on goals by Kachuk and Bobby Sheehan lead the Islanders 2-1. Merrick has scored for the Islanders. Again, the puck shot up over the boards. That's quite a success story for Bobby Sheehan, a much-traveled young man from Weymouth, Massachusetts. Been in the minors all year, now up here as we look at Merrick in the penalty box, and has 3 goals in the playoffs.
That's right, Dan, and he wanted to play in the majors. He came to our camp, as a matter of fact, and decided to go back to New Haven, but he's played very well for them.
Now here's Don Maloney for New York. The Ranger rookie in the corner trying to make a play on this New York power play behind the net for Don Murdoch. Murdoch holding on to the puck, has a look behind the net to Don Maloney, tries to center. Esposito kicked at it, and Billy Smith made the save. Esposito, if he can't shoot him in, he'll kick him in.
Well, Dan, what he was doing there, he was fencing with Jerry Hart, and when the pass comes out, and the one thing he can't do is get his stick down because Hart had it up, so he just decided to kick it, hoping that it might come free, and then by this time, Hart may be turning for the puck. He can put it in. Lauren Henning, one of the better penalty killers in the league, and has been that for the Islanders ever since he's come here.
Here's Greshner for New York. Works it into the corner behind the net for Don Maloney. He flipped it in front. Murdoch couldn't control it. Now Mike McEwen along the boards for Don Maloney. Back for McEwen. Over to the other point. Greshner shoots. Smith makes the save. And Westphal clears it away for the Islanders. 1 minute left in Merrick's penalty as Greshner goes back for the Rangers. Rangers lead 2-1 and have a power play chance here as Maloney works it to Don Murdoch. In across the line. Westphal skates Don Murdoch off. They hold it against the boards. Henning is there, so is Greshner. And they all jam up, and the faceoff is going to be in the New York Islanders zone with now 43 seconds left in Merrick's penalty.
Well, the Rangers are really jamming up around the net. They're only leaving Mike McEwen, who you just saw go off the ice. He was the only one out high, and they really had nobody to pass it to. The Islanders covering him very well. Eddie Westphal, Lauren Henning, as good a penalty killing combos there is in the league, and they're just not giving the Rangers anything close to shoot at.
Here's Vadnais over to the right point. Rangers work it into the corner for Hedberg. Hedberg dropping it back to Marois, over to Vadnais. Vadnais a shot. That deflects wide. Hedberg behind the goal. Rangers, Hickey centers. Hedberg a whack at it, and he couldn't control it. Here's Vadnais to Marois. His shot off Westphal and then shot wide of the net. Rangers, Sheehan trying to center. Dennis Potvin is able to flip at the center. And Vadnais goes back for the Rangers. Just 5 seconds left in Merrick's penalty as Vadnais works his way to center. Leads a 4-man rush. Flips it through, but Lorimer gets it for the Islanders to Henning. And Potvin cleared to center for Merrick, who's back out of the penalty box. Mario Marois beats Merrick to it and just cleared it up over the glass. And the faceoff will be inside the New York Ranger blue line now with 5:53 left in this the second period, and the Rangers leading 2-1.
And a tremendous surprise, I would say, for the Rangers overall has to be the play of the young defensemen. They're playing with a great deal of confidence, and boys, they're giving Davidson all the support he needs. Ron Greshner right there, one of the better offensive defensemen in the league, and playing very sound defensively. The Ranger defense, undoubtedly a big plus for them.
Here's Hart for the Islanders, flipping one in. Back to get it is Greshner. He is tied up in the play. Now Billy Harris for the Islanders trying to work in front. Harris checked by Farish. Now loose in front. Kazicki pulled down, and there's going to be a penalty to Greshner for pulling down Kazicki. And the Rangers will be shorthanded.
Well, they don't want to let anybody go free, and so we're getting a lot of holding and hooking here today, and Bruce Hood is calling it immediately as the puck is centered out, and it just looks like Kazicki's going to get control of it. Greshner trying to make sure that he doesn't pass the puck. He's just pulling him down right there, and Bruce Hood sees him and calls a penalty, and now the Islanders go back in a power play. Because of the many power play advantages, we really haven't seen much line-for-line matchups today because it seems that one team or the other has been on a power play all afternoon.
21 minor penalties, 12 of them against the Rangers, 9 against the Islanders.
Brian Trottier, you'll notice under his right eye, he's got a mark there. He got hit with Clark Gillis' stick in the Chicago series, and for a while there, it was really, really a scary situation. They weren't sure if he had some severe damage done to his eye, permanent damage, Unfortunately, it wasn't, because Brian Trottier, the best player in the National League this year, just an outstanding individual and an outstanding leader for these Islanders.
Already on the face-off is Pearson trying to hold it in, couldn't. Dennis Potvin over to Gillies. Gillies works it across the line for Bossy, back to Gillies. Gillies steps around one man to Dennis Potvin. Now to Trottier. Trottier behind the net, bumped off the puck by Dave Maloney. Now Bossy was upended. Gillies takes a Ranger out of the play. Here's Bossy on the right wing side. And Kachuk with some excellent checking breaks it up. And center to Johnstone. Here's Johnstone in for Maloney. Shoots, and Smith slides out to rob Dave Maloney, who was in all alone. Back comes Trottier. 3-on-2 Islander break. To Gillies, a shot high off the glass. Now Bossy to Dennis Potvin. Davidson, a big save. And Davidson, with the help of his defenseman, about 20 feet out in front of the net, frees the puck.
Well, that play by Billy Smith could be the key to the game. Billy Smith makes a fantastic save on Dave Maloney, coming in all alone. And fortunately for the Islanders, the puck bounds away because the Rangers had another man coming in. Billy Smith kicking that upper leg up, getting that puck, and the Islanders go back down 3-on-1, and they were thwarted. But at a key situation, the Rangers, who have already scored 5 shorthanded goals in the playoffs to set the record, almost made it 6, only for Billy Smith stopping the puck and giving the Rangers just a 1-goal lead where they might have had 2 at this time.
A minute 9 left in Gressner's penalty. 4:44 to play in the second period. Rangers 2 and the Islanders 1. Trottier against Duguay on this face-off to the right of the Ranger goal. Puck is dropped, and the Rangers, Duguay works it out, and here they come to center ice. Here's Pat Hickey, number 16, with a quick shot, and Smith was there to make a glove save. And had that puck bounced loose, Duguay was there to poke it home, and Smith very alertly made the glove save, and in the same motion held on.
Well, Billy sees Duguay coming in from the right, so he makes a save and holds on to the puck. But that's what Shiro's done for the Rangers. He's made them an aggressive penalty-killing team, something that he had done in Philadelphia, and that's why Clark and Barber are always so dangerous when they're killing penalties.
Here's Duguay getting it to Hickey. Hickey flips around one man, passes to Duguay. Now Duguay backtracks and drops it back to his own line for Dave Maloney. Over to Vadnais, who cleared it away, and Dennis Potvin for the Islanders. To Pearson. At center to Trottier. Moving it into Gillies. Gillies to Trottier. He centered one, and Hickey is there to clear it. Bossy knocked it down. And Vadnais for the Rangers slaps it down the ice. 26 seconds left in Gressner's penalty. Here's Dennis Potvin. On right wing for Kazicki. Kazicki trying to go around McEwen. Kazicki drops it in front to Bossy. He gives it to Dennis Potvin. Out of Pearson. Pearson to Kazicki. To Tonelli, back to Kazicki. Rangers break it up. Pearson shoots. Davidson pass save. And Bossy fanned on the rebound. And Gressner is back on as the Rangers got it to center. Here's Pearson for Tonelli. Gressner breaks it up. Now Harris for the Islanders. He's checked, and Gressner passes to Don Maloney. Flips it into the center ice area, and Dennis Potvin for the Islanders has it. To Kazicki, and the play is offside at the Ranger blue line. Lou Nanne, is it the Ranger penalty killing, or is it the Islanders seemingly tightness on the power play that is affecting the Islander manpower advantage?
Well, the Rangers are keeping them off to the side as we see Davidson make a big save there. They're not allowing them to pass that puck through their box, and consequently, they're really not getting any good shots. But the Rangers are an aggressive penalty-killing team now. They are at that plateau where they think that the Islanders could be not thinking defense and get an opportunity themselves, and they've got the Islanders actually worried about that.
Here's Marois in his own zone, trying to move it out of there for the Rangers. To Esposito. 3 minutes left in the second period as the Rangers shoot it in. Bourne for New York. Islanders back to get it, leaving it for Hart. Hart around on the boards for Dave Lewis. Lewis carrying it out. Passes to Merrick. He skated off, and Mike McEwen has it for the Rangers. Here's McEwen. Looks for Esposito. Centered it. Hart knocked it down. Now to the point, the shot deflected. Saved by Smith, and then a chance by Esposito, and Smith was flat on the ice and able to smother it and hold on. And the Rangers come within an eyelash of taking a 2-goal lead.
Well, Mike McHugh slams the puck, and Esposito deflects it right here down towards the net on a bounce. Billy Smith makes the save, and Esposito gets the rebound. Now, even though he's being checked, he manages to get something on it to get it back into Smith's pads. He couldn't quite get it up because Dave Lewis had him all tied up, and Bobby Bourne comes back to help. But the Rangers very aggressive right now, skating quickly. They're beating the Islanders to the puck, and they're just right now taking the play over. The Islanders, almost 15,000 fans here trying to get them going. Only 1 goal down, but they're being outplayed.
2:32 to play in the second period. The Rangers get it to Gressner from the faceoff. He flipped it in front, and the Islanders break it up. Westfall trying to get it out of there. Kachuk doing some yeoman checking for the Rangers. Now Vickers trying to get away from Tonelli. Steve Vickers into the corner for Hedberg. Hedberg slammed against the boards by Lewis. Here's Westfall for the Islanders. Back behind the net for Dave Lewis. Lewis gives it to Hart. 2 minutes left in the period as Hart headmans it to Westfall. Now to Tonelli on left wing. Tonelli shoots, and Davidson got his arm on it and lost his balance but made the save. And the Rangers clear it away. Lorimer, number 4 for the Islanders, takes over. Fires to center. Knocked down by Vickers. Flipped it back in, and it is offside at the Islander blue line. Now with 1:41 to play in the second period, and the Rangers leading 2-1.
Actually, Tonelli gets a shot from an angle here. He shouldn't score from there anyway, but Johnny moving out maybe could have been off balance, but he seemed to fight that shot. He really shouldn't have. He was deep in the net, and maybe that's why he had to make the save at the last moment. But when you get a fellow like Tonelli on the angle that much over, you really shouldn't be scoring goals. But Johnny, even though he got caught deep in the net, he makes the save because he was quick at that time and just got it out of there.
Kazicki, Harris, and Tonelli for the Islanders out against the Sheehan, Duguay, and Hickey line for the Rangers as the Rangers clear it in. Dennis Potvin on right wing for Harris, number 15. At center to Kazicki. Here's Kazicki, looks for Harris, and the pass went off a stick and was high. And Dave Maloney passed it out on the left wing side. Lorimer held it in. Here's Kazicki knocked down. Kazicki up again, trying to make a play. And finally is checked, and Sheehan, number 6, comes back for the Rangers. Passing it ahead to Hickey and broken up, and Tonelli comes back for the Islanders. Flips one in. Dave Maloney shooting it out. 1 minute left in the second period. Now Sheehan into the Islander zone, tied up and checked by Tonelli from behind. Lorimer to Harris. Now to Trottier. Trottier shoots one, and he shot it wide by 3 or 4 feet. Rangers, Hickey has control. Fires to center ice for Johnstone. Going all the way down the ice, and as Johnstone races in, he is offside, and on a 2-line offside, the faceoff will be back inside the Ranger blue line. Now with 38 seconds left in the second period.
Well, Eddie Johnstone, who sees duty on the 4th line and kills penalties also, leading the Rangers with 5 goals coming into today's game, and just exemplifies what the Rangers are doing. They're all skating, they're all working, and this is making for an outstanding game. Clark Gilly says you can look at him right there and see all the sweat pouring down on his head. Everybody working hard, and the pace out there is really, really quick.
Kachuk and Sheehan have scored for the Rangers. Merrick for the Islanders. Here's Lewis, a shot, and Davidson the save. Now Pearson at the point. Flips one into the corner. McEwen is able to clear it for the Rangers. 25 seconds left in the period as Pearson goes back. And as he touches it, icing is called against the Rangers. And with 21 seconds left, the faceoff is going to be to the left of John Davidson. Stepan Pearson, the Islander defenseman, and of course Fred Chiro, the Ranger general manager and coach. Coming to the Rangers this season from the Philadelphia Flyers, where he had led the Flyers to a couple of Stanley Cups. Al Arbor, who like Chiro as a player was a defenseman in his playing days. The coach of the Islanders, and what a record he has had since coming here to Long Island. On the face-off, Maloney feeds it around in the boards for Vadnais. Vadnais in the corner trying to shoot it around to the boards. Gillies ties them up. Gillies can't center the puck, and the Rangers come up with it. Kachuk dropping it back behind his own goal to Vadnais, who takes a look at the clock, and the Rangers clear at the center as the period comes to an end. And the New York Rangers, after going ahead 1-0 in the first period, are tied early in the second, but come back and take the lead again on a goal by Bobby Sheehan. Rangers had 16 shots in that second period to the Islanders 8. So on the game, the Rangers have had 26-20 for the Islanders. And so the score at the end of the second period: the New York Rangers 2, the New York Islanders 1. We're now to talk to an injured member of the New York Rangers, center iceman Ulf Nielsen, one of the two big new additions to the Rangers last offseason, and injured and out of this game. Ulf, I know you had an ankle problem, missed the last part of the regular season. Is it at all possible you'll be able to play before these playoffs are over?
Well, I started to skate a little bit. I've been skating for two days now, and started to feel a lot better. But the team is doing so well, and I guess they don't want to gamble with me really when they're winning. Maybe if they get down in the series next week. But I hope they're going to stay on top, and I think they're going to keep playing the guys that have been getting them here.
Ulf, you visited with us and were a guest on NHL 79 earlier this season, so I know a lot of the fans saw you and heard you at that particular visit. Wanted to ask you about your first experience in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and you're not able to play. Are you still nervous and uptight like the rest of these fellows seem to be?
I think it's worse that you're being up in the stands, really, because I would be rather down on the ice and play. And when you play the playoff games, you're always a little bit more uptight when the regular season, but it's worse to be up in the stands than be down on the ice, though, because I have the same feeling when I'm on the bench. I'd rather be out there doing something.
Ulf, Lou Nanne and myself and other people have commented, the Rangers seem to be very loose. They seem to be very relaxed. Do we have the right observation as we watch them play?
Well, I think all the pressure is on Islanders in this series, and the pressure on the last series was on Philadelphia Flyers. So everything we've been doing has been a bonus, and Fred Scheer and Mike Nikolak and the whole Ranger organization make us feel that way because they put a lot of confidence in the guys, and guys like Eddie Johnston, Bobby Sheehan comes up really big for us, and I think that's just because of Scheer's way of using all the guys.
Tell us about Fred Scheer. He has been a much quoted, hard-to-read person. He's a very mysterious person. What effect has he had on the Ranger Hockey Club coming there this year?
It's like you said, he puts a lot of confidence in the boys and keep them really loose. He doesn't do that much coaching. Mike Nikolak is down on the ice every practice, and we don't really practice that hard, but we go through the basic fundamentals, like how to position yourself in your own end, and we have a good system, simple system to play, and he makes hockey not too complicated, and that's the way to do it, I think, if you're going to play good. And to play good, you have to have a lot of confidence too, and that's what Mr. Scherer and the whole organization are good at.
Ulf, let me ask you this. What does a young man from Sweden who has played for several years in Winnipeg, how has he enjoyed the Big Apple of New York here this season? Aside from the hockey, how have you enjoyed New York?
Oh, it's been great, really. But I think it comes back to if you're playing well, it doesn't matter where you live. I think I can make it in Alaska, too, if I'm playing well. And I think we've had a pretty good year. But New York, it's a special city. You have so many things to do. You have all the Broadway plays and a lot of museums, and I've been going to all these things now when I've been hurt.
Ulf Nielsen, always a pleasure. Hope to see you back in the Ranger lineup. When do you think? Maybe next week?
I hope so, and but I don't think they would gamble with me if the team is doing well, but I hope to be back pretty soon, though.
Ulf Nielsen of the New York Rangers. Live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, the New York Rangers and the New York Islanders.
I have as my guest here in the second intermission the NHL Supervisor of Officials, Frank Udvari. Frank, we talk about how hockey teams are under such tremendous pressure in the playoffs, but I guess the truth is that the referees are under just as much pressure in a very special way.
Well, Scott, I think so. It's no different for them than it is for players. They have to get themselves prepared and get ready, and they get a little uptight. and sometimes, you know, they just have to live with that the same as the players do. And so far, all the games I've seen in the playoffs up to now, I've been very pleased with the standard of rule enforcement. Sometimes maybe the fellows get a little tighter and have a tighter standard, but overall I think that this has been just so far a tremendous series, and then the last series between Philadelphia and New York was just fantastic, and I think the officiating so far has been pretty good.
I think there are two ways that a referee can approach a game. He can either let the play go a little bit in the playoffs, or he can tighten up the reins and make sure things don't get out of hand early, and that's what Bruce Hood has done today.
Well, Scott, the thing is that, you know, even with the penalties we've had in this game, it hasn't really affected the game. It's been a good, tough, hard-fought game, and, you know, you're dealing with individual people who sometimes have a little, someone has a tighter standard of enforcement than the other, but overall, you know, it's consistent.
Thank you, Frank.
Nice to be here.
Frank Adberry, supervisor of officials in the NHL.
The Rangers in their own zone, leading in the game 2-1, clear at the center ice. Lorimer has it there to Kazicki as the Islanders dump it back in. That's Gressner back for the Rangers, number 4. Over on the left wing side for Hickey. Hickey to number 6, Bobby Sheehan. Sheehan into the Islander zone, lets a shot go. Lorimer blocked it, and Kazicki drops it back behind his own goal. Billy Smith setting it up for Lorimer. Number 4 for the Islanders, Bob Lorimer. Through center ice and into the Ranger zone. Skated off there by Hickey. Slammed in against the boards by Gressner. Over comes Tonelli, and they hold it there. And the faceoff is going to be in the Ranger zone. We played 1 minute and 4 seconds of the third period. Rangers leading 2-1. The Ranger goals, Walter Kachuk from McEwen and Hickey at 3:12 of the first period. And Wayne Merrick tied it from Bourne and Pearson at 1:37 of the second. And then Sheehan gave the Rangers the lead again on a power play goal, his third of the playoffs from Badney at 8:32. And it is 2-1 Rangers here early in the third period. Lewis for the Islanders. Rink wide pass to Pearson, now clearing to center to Nystrom. Over for Bourne. Bourne, number 14, gives it to Lewis. Lewis trying to feed it through. And it's broken up by Marois and cleared down the ice. Smith beats Esposito to it, cleared it on the boards. Murdoch couldn't get it. Here's Marois, shoots one, and Smith turns it aside. McEwen trying to center. Pearson for the Islanders coming up with it out on left wing for Bourne. Here's Marois shooting, and a key save by Smith. After it again is Esposito, who fired it wide. Rangers with some pressure on. Marois holding it in. But Pearson clears for the Islanders to Bourne. On right wing to Nystrom, and McEwen knocked it away. Here's Lewis, skated off by 2 Rangers. Marois at the Ranger blue line. Over to McEwen and his defense partner. Mike McEwen circling to get away from Nystrom. Passes out to Vickers. Vickers scooping it in, and Dennis Potvin for Jerry Hart. Hart to Gillies. Gillies on left wing shoots, and he shot it wide, and that would seem to have Davidson fooled. Puck behind the net, Gillies trying to get it to Trottier, cleared by Kachuk. Hedberg bumped by Hart. Now into the other corner, Vickers. For the Rangers, trying to clear it. Gets it to center ice. Hedberg couldn't control it. Here's Potvin to Bossy, broken up, and back comes Vickers. See, Vickers shoots one, and he shot wide. Hedberg trying to hold it in for the Rangers. Now Trottier to Gillies. Over to Bossy. Bossy centers one, and Vickers back-checking, breaks it up for the Rangers, and cleared to center. Pearson to Potvin. He fires it back into the Ranger zone. Vadnais, number 5, swings out of his own zone. Here's Carol Vadnais. Over to Hedberg on right wing. He couldn't control it, and the Islanders come back, led by Tonelli, number 27. He leaves it for Bossy, shoots, and Davidson a pad save. And that was kind of a floater or a knuckleball type shot, and it gave Davidson a problem.
Actually, Dan had hit the defenseman's stick and seemed to drop about a foot. Johnny has been somewhat less sure of the pucks up high than the ones down low, and he's back deep in the net, but he's got some big legs, long legs, that he can get to those shots on the net very quickly. Here you'll see the drop pass, and as Bossy takes a shot, right there. It just seems to deflect a bit. See how it's dropping down? It just drops down, but Johnny was right there to cover it up.
16:37 left in regulation time. Rangers with a 2-1 lead. Puck is centered. Comes to the point to Pearson, and that is blocked by Greshner, who came sliding out. Lewis at center ice. Passing to Harris, who backhands one into the Ranger zone. Greshner is there. Greshner over onto the left wing side. Harris couldn't hold it in. Now Hickey to Sheehan at center. In on right wing for Ron Duga. To Sheehan. Sheehan in front to Hickey. Smith slides out to make the save. And back comes Tonelli. Tonelli to Kazicki. Broken up by Parrish at the Ranger defense. Duguay couldn't clear it. Islanders Kazicki to Pearson. Pearson along the boards. Tied up by Lewis. Lewis for Tonelli, who couldn't control it. Here's Harris in the other corner. Billy Harris, number 15. All the way out near the blue line, and then it's checked by Sheehan, who has a breakaway. Bobby Sheehan in all alone. Smith slides across to stop Sheehan on the breakaway. And the Islanders start back after a big save by Smith. Here's Kazicki to Tonelli. Bumped by Ferris. Now Esposito comes in. Nice run for the Islanders. Centered one, but Johnstone intercepts for the Rangers. Back he comes. Johnstone trying to get around Potvin. Johnstone centered one off a skate, and Tonelli for the Islanders starts back. To Dennis Potvin. In with Nystrom. Potvin trying to flip it through off a skate to the corner. Here's Wayne Merritt. Given a check. Now Lorimer at the point. Shoots! He scores! Lorimer! The Nassau Coliseum is in a bedlam, and the Islanders have just tied it 2-2.
Well, Bob Lorimer, who worked his way up from Michigan Tech and Fort Wayne and Fort Worth, takes a shot that seems to handcuff John Davidson. He gets it through, and it just bounds into the net to send this place into a frenzy. The fans are going crazy. They're littering the ice. The game's tied 2-2. And Bob Lorimer, who's probably played as strong a game today as any of the Islanders, and undoubtedly one of the real surprises for the Islanders all year long, to actually earn a regular job from Fort Worth last year, gets the biggest goal of his life.
Davidson seemed to get a piece of it. Here's another look at the shot by Lorimer.
It could have either hit the defenseman or Nystrom, but I think it just hit that Ranger defenseman and deflected through Davidson's pad.
And it's tied at 2. Here's Bourne for the Islanders. Bourne works in and shoots wide. Now Don Maloney, the Ranger rookie, trying to clear it. Bourne held it in. Bourne shoots one, and Davidson turns it aside. Esposito trying to get it out of there. Murdoch couldn't clear the zone. Now here's Don Maloney. He gets it into the Islander zone, and Dennis Potvin out on left wing for Bourne. Headmans to Nystrom, too far ahead, and Dave Maloney for the Rangers gives it to Vadnais. Ahead to Esposito. He flips one in. Greshner for the Islanders. Or at least Lorimer for the Islanders. Over to Nystrom. Back around on the boards for Dennis Potvin. Here's Potvin working out of there. Lead pass to Nystrom. In across the line. Dave Maloney is there for New York. And the Rangers captain Maloney, number 26, comes back. Long shot. It took a bounce. Billy Smith made the save. And Dennis Potvin for the veteran Westfall, who passes to Henning. Henning fires one in. Howard digs in after it. Bumped by Hedberg. Now Henning, number 10 for the Islanders, centering one. And it comes outside the line. Jerry Hart has it there over to Pearson. He flips it in. Davidson setting it up for Dave Maloney on the right wing boards for Hedberg. Now to Kachuk, and Henning steps into him. And they hold it against the board just outside the Ranger blue line. Live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, the New York Rangers. 13:02 left in regulation time. 2-2 to the score. That last scoring play, Lorimer, his first of the playoffs, from Nystrom and Myrick at 5-13. Now the Rangers, Ferris shooting it in. Billy Smith sets it up behind the net for Pearson. Checked by Kachuk, who centered. But the Islanders break it up, and here's Bossy, number 22. Lead pass to Gillies. Gillies into the corner. Gillies couldn't control the puck, and Gressner passes to Hedberg. He's hit by Trottier. And the puck comes to the Islander line. Pearson for Clark Gillies. Back to Jerry Hart. Hart at center for Big Gillies. Gillies firing one into the New York Ranger end of the rink. Gressner, number 4, starts back for the Rangers. Lost it to Dennis Potvin. He just flipped it back to center. Now the Rangers on the attack again as Hickey leaves it for Hedberg. Anders Hedberg to the corner, trying to center. Potvin checked him. Hickey for the Rangers. Sanders won. Gressner couldn't get it. Here's Hickey again. Knocked off Pisek and Suzuki. Gets it outside the line. Sheehan back checking and breaks it up for the Rangers. Now Dennis Potvin for Lorimer, who has scored the tying goal here for the Islanders. Fires it in. Davidson out of the net to beat Suzuki to it. Duguay behind the net. Over for Gressner, cleared it on the board. Now Harris centers one, and Duguay for the Rangers cleared it away. Lorimer going back, and as he touches it, icing is called against the Rangers. With the score, the New York Islanders 2, the New York Rangers 2. This is Stanley Cup 79. We look at Ron Duguay of the Rangers. Face-off coming up in the Rangers zone. 11:26 to play in regulation time. And it is tied at 2. Suzuki against Duguay on the face-off. Now Marois trying to clear it on the board. Sheehan couldn't get it out. Here's Lorimer, shoots, deflected, and the rebound to Suzuki. Davidson covers up on the short side and robs the Islanders, Mike Suzuki, of a goal on the play. Oh, some great Stanley Cup action here in New York, and we hope you're enjoying it across the NHL network. And we remind you of our upcoming coverage on NHL 79, as we will be following the Stanley Cup playoffs next week for Game 5. Whether it will be an afternoon game or an evening game, or whether it will be an Islander-Ranger game or a Montreal-Boston game, we are not sure, but we will have a game on the air. Check your local listings for the Stanley Cup playoff game next Saturday. Here's Dennis Potvin. Shoots one, and Davidson kicked it out. Now Lorimer and Sheehan battled for it. Sheehan got it to the line. Lorimer shoots one, and he shot it right along the ice, just wide. Bounces all the way back into the Islander zone. Dennis Potvin for Tonelli. Now to Suzuki. Suzuki trying to work it through. Broken up, and Mario Marois comes back. Number 25 for the Rangers. Marois headed into the corner by Dave Lewis. Islanders break it up, and here's Myrick to Tonelli. A 2-on-2 break. Tonelli and Myrick. And over to knock him down was McEwen. Here's Myrick trying to center. Myrick at the side of the net does get it in front. They score! Nystrom! And the Islanders lead. Bob Nystrom.
Well, Wayne Myrick, through perseverance, gets that puck out front to Nystrom after he fought off a check from Pat Hickey. He fought for that puck. Right here, you'll see him behind the net. He fought past Hickey. He gets it in front to Nystrom, standing there. And Nystrom just bangs it past Davidson. And this place is going crazy again as the Islanders lead for the first time, 3-2. Nystrom right there in front, stick on the ice as he should be, as he was fighting out a check from Marois, who had come back. But Nystrom, Johnny on the spot, puts the Islanders ahead 3-2.
So Nystrom gives the Islanders the lead here for the first time in this game. Myrick gets an assist, as does John Tonelli. 9:35 of the third period, the time of the goal, and the Islanders lead 3-2. Nystrom from Myrick and Tonelli, the scoring play. And the Islanders have scored 2 in a row here in the third period. Here's Vadnais for the Rangers now. Flipping one into the Islander zone. Dave Lewis, number 25, back to pick it up on right wing for Nystrom. Now to Merrick. Merrick to Bourne at center. Over to Nystrom, and Maloney is there to break it up. And the puck goes off the stick of the Ranger defenseman up over the board. This is Stanley Cup 79, live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. And here is the look at Nystrom's go-ahead goal for the Islanders on a great setup by Merrick. Incidentally, Merrick has a goal and 2 assists for the Islanders today, who have now taken a 3-2 lead. Rangers' Dave Maloney from the faceoff to Vadnais. Now Murdoch trying to work it out of there. Comes into the Ranger zone. Pearson is back after it. Stefan Pearson for Bourne. Bourne to Merrick. In across the line to Nystrom, and the play goes offside at the Ranger blue line. You know, when Brian Trottier scored in Game 1, the Islanders didn't get another goal until 1:37 of the second period here today. That by Merrick. 70 minutes and 56 seconds without a goal against Davidson. But since that time, they have put in goals by Merrick, Lorimer, and Nystrom, and have taken a 3-2 lead.
Well, the key in this game so far is that save by Billy Smith on Bobby Sheehan, preventing a 3-1 Ranger lead, and the Islanders have come back with 2 goals to take the lead.
Now the Islanders clear the puck down the ice. Davidson out of the net to set it up. Dave Maloney trying to clear it. Bourne held it in. Bourne along the boards. Now Dennis Potvin and Nystrom. Nystrom shoots. He hit the side of the net. Nystrom centered, but Dave Maloney intercepts, cleared it to his young brother Don. Off his stick and down into the Islander zone. Jerry Hart back to get it. He's being forechecked. Now Esposito in front to Don Maloney, who deflected it. Up over the glass. Straight set up by Esposito. And Maloney almost was able to deflect it in, but it went high off his stick and went right up over the glass.
That's right, Dan. That was a pass from the corner. And as Maloney deflected it, he had Billy Smith beaten because Billy didn't see him coming. A good play by Murdoch, first of all, taking the puck away from Hart, but Esposito's pass goes to Maloney, deflected it right over to the net and the glass, taking the face-off outside the zone.
I think you're right about that save Billy Smith made on Sheehan on a breakaway. That would have made it 3-1. Here come the Rangers. Moving in is Vickers. Dropping it back for Greshner. Now Parrish at the point. Steps around Bossy. Slides it in behind the net to Hedberg. He's too closely checked by Potvin. And now Howitt got it to center ice. Parrish knocked it down. Bossy for the Islanders to Jerry Hart. Back to Bossy. To Potvin. Potvin leading a rush across the line to Henning, but the play was offside at the Ranger blue line.
Well, Eddie Westphal got hit with a shot right after the face-off when he went to the bench. He's favoring his leg right now. He's got a shot somewhat like Donnie Murdoch took on the ankle, and he too will probably be back shortly if they need him. But you see him in a little bit of pain as he found that stick down there. And Eddie's been a very, very valuable Islander throughout his career, but in these playoffs he's been especially super for them, playing solidly every time he's had the opportunity, and one of the real standouts for them in the Chicago series.
And of course, Westphal has already announced that he is retiring at the end of the season. He'll stay with the Islanders in an executive capacity, but he says his playing days will be over once this season ends. Rangers work at the center ice for Steve Vickers. Vickers trying to work around Stefan Pearson. Centered one. Smith, a skate save on Kachuk. And Smith is still on the ice. Now he gets to his feet. He stretched out as far as anybody can stretch to stop that one. Bossy to center ice to Gillies. Now to Trottier. For Dave Lewis. The Islanders leading 3-2. Fire it into the Ranger zone. Trottier, the first man in, he's onside. Trying to dig it loose. Bossy is wrestled around by Kachuk. Now centered to Gillies. He's too closely checked. And Vickers shoots at the center. Dave Lewis for the Islanders. 7:45 left in regulation time. Islanders lead 3-2 as Lewis takes a hit from Plante, but cleared it into the Ranger zone. Marois for Johnstone. Johnstone, number 17. Long shot. Wide of the goal. Smith behind the net. Has the look. Passes to Potvin. Out to Tonelli on left wing. Tonelli, right wing pass to Harris. Leaves it for Kazicki. Here's Kazicki right in. Cuts behind the net. Kazicki trying to make a play. Flipped it in front and it's cleared away by the Rangers. McEwen kicks at the puck. He's lost his stick. Now McEwen runs into Tonelli and knocked him down. Kazicki back to the net. Kazicki out in front himself. Shoots. Davidson a glove save. Here's Kazicki again for the Islanders. To Harris, a shot. That one off Marois. Lorimer shoots. That's high. Up over the glass. And the Islanders pour on the pressure. Live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. The New York Rangers and the New York Islanders. 6:49 left in regulation time. Here are the Islanders pinning to Lorimer. A shot blocked by Parrish on the defense. And the Rangers come back. A 3-on-2 break and they fire it in. Dennis Potvin there. Trying to clear it. Now it does come to center, and here's Hennig. Into the Rangers zone. Henning's shot is high off the glass. Gressner trying to clear it. Now Sheehan got it to center, but the Islanders Henning flips it back in, and it is offside at the New York Ranger blue line, now with 6:20 left in regulation time.
Well, now, Art, we're going with the fourth line every now and then, so Gary Howitt's been out in the ice, and one thing Howitt does along with Westfall and Henning, whenever they're out there, they put a lot of pressure on the opposition just by checking them. They don't give many opportunities, and they keep the crowd enthused, and they keep their players enthused. They don't allow for any letdown, as we see Westfall back for the first time since he was hurt.
Lorimer shoots it in for the Islanders, bounced out in front of the net. Gressner takes over for the Rangers. Here's Sheehan to center ice. Sheehan doing some nifty stick handling. In across the line to Hickey. His shot is high off the glass. Hickey trying to center it. Puck goes in behind the net, and Lorimer starts back. Lorimer crossing the red line and dumping it in. Davidson sets it up for Parrish. Tried to clear it. Westfall knocked it down. Westfall for Howitt behind the net. Now it is Duguay. Flipping it into the center ice area. Lorimer for the Islanders to Hart. He dumps it back into the Ranger zone. Gressner, number 4 for the Rangers. At center to Esposito. Pearson trying to break it up. Now Don Maloney cleared it behind the net. Duguay and Hart battle for it. Lorimer then takes Duguay out of the play. Duguay again getting to the puck as Maloney couldn't center it in. Westfall for the Islanders passes to Merrick. Merrick, who's had a big day, into Bourne, and the play is just offside at the Ranger line. And almost a great play from Merrick to Bourne.
Well, Ronnie Gressner, who's got 4 goals and one of the outstanding offensive defensemen for the Rangers, is going to have to pull something out of a bag of tricks to try and get the Rangers tied here as the Islanders continue to pour on the pressure. We saw a fine play right there, but Bobby Bourne just a step over the line, and linesman Ronnie Finn was right on the spot and called the offside. Otherwise, Bourne would have been home free on Johnny Davidson. But the goaltenders especially have been keys today, coming up with key saves time and time again. And as you say, on Kachuk, when he reached halfway across the ice to get his stick on that pass from the corner, Billy Smith made a great save to keep this game a 1-goal lead for the Islanders.
We're down to 5:06 left in regulation time. Of course, in Stanley Cup play, if the teams are tied, we play sudden death overtime. Here's Esposito shooting it into the Islander zone. Smith sets it up for Jerry Hart. Around on the boards to Nystrom. At center ice for Bourne. Bourne bumped on the play by Murdoch. Now Merrick is shot wide of the net. Pearson for the Islanders holding it in. Pearson has control. Flips it over onto an open wing, and the Rangers' Vadnais starts back. Vadnais flipping one in. Smith cleared it for Pearson. Esposito checked him. Here's Don Maloney. To Esposito behind the net to Don Maloney again. Pearson tying him up. In comes Merrick. Esposito gets it loose. Back to the point for Dave Maloney to Esposito. Hit Don Maloney. Here's Esposito. Score! Esposito!
And Esposito did all the work on that goal. He gave give-and-go passes behind the net with his forwards, then back to the point. Then he finally gets you'll see him get the open net. First of all, this is a shot to Maloney. Maloney and Murdoch get it back to him, back to the point. But Esposito finally positioning himself where he's all alone in front. The open net. Billy Smith way over on the right, and Esposito ties his game, his 5th goal of the playoffs, and he keeps moving up, passing all-time scorers at all times. He's only 1 point behind another one at this time.
So Esposito with 4:12 left in the 3rd period ties it for the Rangers. And deflects Al Arbor, paces behind the Islander bench. The goal, Esposito, assisted by Don Maloney and Dave Maloney at 15:48.
Well, Dave Maloney had taken an initial shot, and Esposito, when he gets the puck back, he tries to lay it in there to Don Maloney. Maloney stops it in front of the net, and he plays it back to Phil. Billy Smith at this time had come out to check Don Maloney, but Phil got it all alone in front, and he put it in that open net. He doesn't make any mistakes when he's around that net. He's already lost one when he hit the pipe, but this time he didn't miss, and the game's all tied up.
You give Mr. Esposito a few inches, and he can usually fire it in, let alone giving him half the net as Smith was cut off to one side. Here's Tkachuk for the Rangers. Long shot. Smith handles that, and Lorimer has it for the Islanders. Less than 4 minutes to play in regulation time as Lorimer cleared it into the Rangers zone. Vadnais is back together. Vadnais being forechecked by Gillies on the play. Now Trottier back to the net. Squeezed out of the play by Dave Maloney. Tkachuk for Vickers. Vickers got it to the line. Gillies held it in. His shot blocked by Dave Maloney. Now it is Tkachuk. Flipped it to center. Lorimer shooting it back in, and he shot it up over the glass. With the score, the Islanders 3, the Rangers 3. This is Stanley Cup 79. We're down to 3:29 left in regulation time. Islanders 3, the Rangers 3. Here are the Rangers. Hickey shooting it in. Back of the net, the Islanders. Lewis trying to clear it, and he did to Tonelli, but off of Tonelli and up over the glass. And the faceoff is going to be inside the Islander blue line. Sheehan is out at center with Duguay and Hickey on the wings for the Rangers. The Islanders have Westfall now at center, Harris on right wing, and Tonelli on left wing. Hello, Nanne, I haven't seen Anders Hedberg in the last couple of shifts. Did you see him get injured or anything?
No, Freddie keeps switching his lines around. He's got Duguay in the wing. Now he's got him in the middle. He did the same thing with Johnstone. He just keeps moving his people around also, just like Arbor has just done with Westfall.
Here's Dave Lewis for the Islanders. To Westfall, back to Lewis. Lewis into the center ice area for Tonelli. Tonelli trying to work around the defense. Centered one. Westfall dropped it back. Here's Lewis closing in. He's checked, and Sheehan gives it to Duguay. And the pass to McEwen was behind him, or the Rangers would have had a dangerous break. Hickey to Sheehan. Sheehan back in across for Hickey on right wing. Hickey trying to center. Tonelli intercepts. Tonelli, number 27, moving in. Low shot. Davidson, a stick save. Feeds it out on right wing for Duguay. Duguay gets it into the Islanders zone, and Potvin back to get it for the Islanders. On left wing for Tonelli. Now to Kazicki. Here's Kazicki trying to work in. Kazicki doing some stick handling, but checked in the play by Don Murdoch. And now it is Bourne for the Islanders. Bob Bourne lost it to Esposito. Dennis Potvin trying to set up Merrick. Now into the Ranger zone, and Parrish, number 3, takes over. They work it to Greshner. Trying to flip it in. 2 minutes left in regulation time. Score tied 3-3. Puck in behind the Islander goal. Dennis Potvin trying to feed it out. Knocked down by Murdoch into the side of the net to Esposito. Lorimer took him out of the play. And Merrick has it for the Islanders to Nystrom. Nystrom trying to work around the defenseman Parrish. Nystrom centered to Bourne. Don Maloney tipped it away from him. Now Bourne trying to freeze it there, but Greshner has it for the Rangers. And Greshner comes out of the zone to center. Into the Islander zone, trying to go through the defense. Flipped away by the Islanders, and here comes Mira with Nystrom on a 2-on-2 break. And Nystrom went the wrong way, and Ferris cleared it away for the Rangers. The Islanders attack again. Lewis trying to flip it in. Kachuk knocked it down. Now Vadnais into the center ice area. A minute left in regulation time as the Rangers clear it in. Dave Lewis is there. Round in the boards. Now they center it, and Kachuk was open in front of the net, but couldn't get a stick on it. Islanders can't get it out. Here's Vickers and Pearson colliding on the boards. And the puck goes up over the glass. 47 seconds left in regulation time. This is Stanley Cup 79, live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York.
Hockey fans, May is Stanley Cup playoff month, and KWHY-TV Channel 22 will telecast 3 exciting playoff games each.
Play just underway, and from the face-off, the Islanders clear it into the Ranger zone. 34 seconds left in regulation time. Score tied 3-3. Vickers for the Rangers. In for Walter Kachuk, trying to get it back to Vickers, but broken up by Lorimer. And here come the Islanders with 22 seconds left. To Trottier. Trottier trying to center. Vadnais skated him off. Now Hedberg and Gillies fight for it in the corner. Now it's Kachuk and Trottier. 8 seconds left in regulation time. Dennis Potvin at the point of shot. Blocked by Vadnais. Vadnais trying to clear it, does. And there's the buzzer to end the third period. And we are going to have sudden death overtime here in Game 2 of this Islander-Ranger Classic Series. The Rangers won Game 1 here, 4-1. And this afternoon, over 60 minutes, the teams battle through a 3-3 deadlock, and we will go to sudden death overtime. And the next goal scored will win this game. So after 60 minutes of regulation time, it is the New York Islanders 3 and the New York Rangers 3. And Lou Nanne, quite a struggle here before a very noisy crowd at the Nassau Coliseum.
Well, Dan, the fans have got something to yell about. And as we said earlier when we were talking today, this could be a Stanley Cup final series and be great because we've got 2 tremendous hockey clubs, 2 teams that deserve to be here, 2 exciting hockey teams, and are proving it out here today.
In the third period, the Islanders outshot the Rangers 11-7. Over 60 minutes, the Rangers 33 shots, the Islanders 31. And the scoreboard shows the closeness of the struggle as well. It is tied 3-3. Now, here is Scott Wahle.
Okay, thanks very much, Dan Kelly. We're going to be in overtime here at the Nassau Coliseum as the Rangers and Islanders have played 60 minutes of hockey and are all tied up at 3 goals apiece. My guest here in the overtime intermission is the brother of one of the members of the New York Rangers, brother of Don Murdoch, Bob Murdoch of the St. Louis Blues. Like his brother, a right winger, but the Blues not in the playoffs, so the Rangers in the playoffs. What's your assessment of the game thus far and the playoffs thus far?
Well, first of all, I'd sure love to trade places with my brother right now, but the playoffs, especially this series here, it's just been unreal. The Rangers, the way that they've come along and, you know, beat Philadelphia out like that. I didn't think that I was counting on the Rangers to win it, but to beat them out like that, I just didn't think that would happen. And I guess that's got a lot to do with the goaltender, John Davidson. I mean, it's just been, you know, unreal.
Maybe that had something to do with the way the Rangers were playing toward the end of the season. Davidson just coming off an injury, not really sharp, as he told us earlier in the broadcast, but he started to get back in shape toward the end of the regular season, and by the time the playoffs came, he was ready, and the Rangers seemed to just break open. Esposito said it wasn't a breakaway series. They didn't roll over the Flyers, but it was a tough series, and each game was tough, but still 4-1 they beat them.
Well, I think with the Rangers, they must have been concerned, you know, with the injury to John. And I think everybody was, you know, wondering just how strong he's going to be able to come back. But I know John personally, and I know he's, you know, quite a contender. And I really think that, you know, he realized that he's got to get in the goal and stop the pucks. I think that so many of the teams are so evenly matched that the whole thing is going to come right down to either one team coming up with a hot goal scorer or another team coming up with a hot goalie.
Bob, you try to assess the playoffs, and momentum is is the word that keeps coming up. It's so important. The Rangers jumping on the Islanders in the first game. Maybe the Islanders a little bit out of shape from a 4-game and 17-day break for them coming into the playoffs. And in the first period, the Rangers really still with the momentum going. It started to swing a little bit in the second period. In the third period, it got the feeling that the Islanders were starting to get into gear, and it was going to be a tough series from here on in.
Well, I noticed right early into the second period when they got their first goal, the Islanders, I noticed that the Rangers came out and they looked a little flat. The Islanders came out and they looked a little flat. And it was just, you know, a break. Something was going to happen there to, you know, really set it going again, get the excitement going. Sitting up in the stands, everybody was just kind of waiting to see what was going to happen with that break. And then Merrick scored the goal, beautiful goal, you know, a nice play and everything. And that just started out the whole second period again. And the third period started out that same way. They kind of just feeling each other out to see what was going to happen, and then bang, all of a sudden you got a hockey game again.
3-3. Thanks for being with us, and best of luck to your Blues next year.
Thank you.
Who's here, and my guest from the Rangers is Nick Fotiu, not dressing today. Nick, you played in the previous series against the Flyers, and I guess you have a first-hand, we can talk about that firsthand, but first let's talk about this game this afternoon. How do you see this game, the second game of the semifinals between the Rangers and the Islanders?
Geez, you know, I think that's what people wanted to see, you know, in overtime, the two New York teams going at it, and, geez, it's hard to sit in the stands, but it's an exciting hockey game. And, you know, this is what people look forward to, you know, playoff hockey, and it's great for everybody.
What do you think when Lorimer and Nystrom scored there in the third period?
Well, geez, you know, I thought maybe, you know, the Islanders are coming on, but, you know, you have Esposito out there, you know, probably the biggest goal scorer in the playoffs, him and Bobby Orr, you know, and lucky we have Phil, and, you know, he just displayed a little finesse there and put the puck in and, you know, gave us a 3-3 tie. But, you know, look for Phil in the overtime because he's the guy that could do it.
During the commercial break, we were talking about the goaltending. And if you look at the statistics for the goaltenders on all four teams in the semifinals, Cheevers for Boston, Dryden for Montreal, Resch and Smith for the Islanders, and John Davidson for the Rangers, there is not a goaltender going into today's game anyway with a goals against average of more than 2 goals a game. It's just been incredible, the goaltending in this series.
It is, and especially J.D. J.D.'s come up big, you know, and, you know, that's the whole thing, you know, goaltending in the playoffs is the key, you know, and that's what we have, you know, and unfortunately we're lucky, you know, and everybody's been playing well, so it's really great.
And you look to Phil Esposito if the Rangers are going to do it in overtime?
I look for him. My money's on Phil, you know.
He's had a tremendous year and a great year, hasn't he?
Oh, geez, you know, people knocked him and he got back up, and, you know, he's shown that, you know, he could still play, you know. People say, well, he's washed up, but not in my eyes, and a lot of people's eyes. He's still the best goal scorer I ever seen.
Nick Fotiu, by the way, is the fellow for which the song Native New Yorker might have been written. He was born and raised in New York, and an instant favorite here. In fact, the first New Yorker to play on a regular basis for the Rangers. That must be nice to be in your home ice and really your hometown at the same time.
Well, it's, you know, a dream come true, you know, ever since I was a little kid, just like kids in the stands today. You know, they're going to dream, you know, about playing for the Islanders or the Rangers, and fortunately, you know, it happened to me, so I'm really happy.
I'm interested in your impressions of Fred Shero as a coach. He's an enigmatic guy. It's very difficult for some people to figure out, and I think he likes it that way. But you as a player, how do you see your coach in the Rangers?
Well, he's great. You know, people say he never talks to anybody, but, you know, he comes and talks to me, and, you know, we discuss things and everything, and he's a smart hockey man. Him and Mike Nicolak have done an awful lot for this team, and they're going to continue to do a lot more for this hockey team, too.
Thank you, Nick.
Okay, thank you.
Nick Fotiu of the New York Rangers, our guest here in overtime. It's 3-3, the Rangers and the Islanders after regulation time. Let's go up now to Dan Kelly and Lou Nanne.
Thank you, Scott Wahle. Lou Nanne, great third period, 3 goals. I think the game has changed, the momentum has changed about 6 times this afternoon.
You're right, Dan. I can't believe how many times it's gone back and forth. As a matter of fact, I thought that when Billy Smith made the big save on Bobby Sheehan, which could have put the Rangers ahead 3-1, and then the Islanders came back to go ahead 3-2, I was thinking that the Rangers had no chance because they could have put them away at that time. Billy Smith came up big time and time again, but then the momentum shifted. Davidson makes some big saves all the way through, and then the Rangers get a chance. They capitalize on it, and as you said, Esposito only needs inches. When you give him feet, you have no chance.
We had 3 goals, Lorimer to tie it, Nystrom to give the Islanders the lead, and then Esposito to tie it. And let's have a look at first the tying goal by Bob Lorimer.
You know, this play starts out innocently enough in the corner as the puck just goes back to the blue line. But see, nobody's out there covering him, so everybody moves to the play, and it's a screen shot that seems to go off a Ranger, deflected down through Davidson. He lost sight of it just for a moment, barely rolled over the goal line and barely rolled in the corner, and that was a big goal for the Islanders and gave them some momentum, as we know. And then after that, they just continued to play well.
And then Bob Nystrom gave them the lead on just some great setup work by Wayne Merrick.
Well, Wayne Merrick did a lot of work in the corner. He had to fight off Pat Hickey. He had to fight past the check, but Bobby Nystrom, see him in front, struggling to get his stick on the ice. And here comes Merrick's pass out of the corner right in front, and Nystrom didn't stop it. All he did is just put it on the net quickly, and he put it by Davidson.
And the Islanders had the lead. I thought we're playing very well. And then an old buddy of yours, Phil Esposito, who used to score goals like that against everybody in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, showed how it's done.
Well, Dan, actually, this play started originally behind the net, and the puck goes back and forth. Esposito worked for it a million times. But the key is here, Billy Smith is going to go over to check Don Maloney, number 12, in front of the net. And as Maloney stops the shot from out front by Phil, and Billy Smith moves to him, the puck's going to go back to Phil, who's going to go out in the slot. And when Billy Smith makes the move right here to go to Don Maloney, the net's open, the puck goes out, Phil's got the whole net. Phil puts it away, ties the game, and we've got a 3-3 game, all because of work that started initially behind the net with Murdoch and Esposito and Maloney.
So Phil Esposito's 5th goal of the playoffs tied the game at 15-48, and that is why we are having sudden death overtime. Who's going to score the winning goal and who's going to win this game?
Well, you know, you're putting everybody on the spot. I have to look for a fella on the Islanders. If they're going to score, I'm going to say that I got to go with Trottier. He's had some chances. He's working the hardest on that line. If it's for the Rangers to score a goal, I'm going to have to say Donnie Murdoch, because he's always dangerous and he's playing with Phil and Phil's getting him the puck. So I'm going to have to go with Trottier and Donnie Murdoch.
This has been a great hockey game. A great series so far. I know the fans around the country are really enjoying it. And the people in New York just have to be eating this up, Lou Nanne.
Well, they should, because they've got two great teams to cheer for. Both New York City and Long Island have got two clubs that have played well all year long. The Islanders proved that they were the best team over the course of the season. The Rangers coming on strong. And either one of these teams right now would be worthy Stanley Cup champions. There's nothing to say that they can't do that. So this would even warrant being a Stanley Cup final in itself, much less a semifinal. So both clubs deserve to be here. Whoever wins this game, whoever wins this series is going to deserve to be in the Stanley Cup finals against the winner of Montreal and Boston, and that too should be an exciting series.
That's Lou Nanne, the general manager of the Minnesota North Stars and regular almost here on NHL 79. Our overtime coverage will continue in just a moment. This is Stanley Cup 79 death overtime. In the third period, Lorimer tied it for the Islanders at 5:13. Nystrom scored at 9:35 to give the Islanders the lead. And then Esposito, his 5th of the playoffs, at 15:48 from the Maloney brothers, Don and Dave. Previous Stanley Cup overtime goals, Mike Bossy with 2, Bill Harris with 1. 2 Rangers have scored overtime goals previously, Don Murdoch and also Phil Esposito. Here we go. Sudden death overtime in Uniondale, New York, as Tkachuk fires it into the Islander zone. Dennis Potvin is back for the Islanders. Potvin being watched on the play by Tkachuk. Potvin holding on to the puck. He's on the Islander defense with Lorimer. Now Potvin neatly works it to Bossy on left wing to Gillies. Here's Clark. Gillies moves in, shoots one, and Davidson a glove save. Hedberg for the Rangers trying to clear it, and he cleared it up over the glass. And the faceoff will be in the Ranger zone. On that last play, as the Islanders came out of their own zone, Dennis Potvin looked like an accountant going about his duties. He was in no hurry, no rush.
That's right, Dan. He was just trying to set up for a good breakout play, and he did that, giving that puck to Bossy. And Bossy sees Gillis on the far side. They almost broke away with a 2-on-1, because what Dennis was trying to do was lure a couple guys towards him and then break his forward line out so that they could outnumber the Rangers and go down and get a good shot.
Here is a shot. Davidson the save. Rebound, and Davidson robs Trottier on the rebound. As the Islanders from the faceoff almost scored. Puck comes to center and into the Islander zone, and Lorimer races back after it. Lorimer over on left wing for Gillies. Gillies got it to the line, not out, held in by Vadnais. Vadnais shoots. Smith turns to the side. And then Bossy cleared the rebound to center. And the teams are not playing cautiously now as both have had good chances. Here's Vickers shooting it in on right wing. Duguay trying to work around Dennis Potvin. Potvin around in the boards for Lorimer. Lorimer to Bossy, who got it to the line. Now Bossy got it outside, but Hickey carried back in and flips it into the corner for the Rangers. Dennis Potvin to Lorimer. He flips it to center. And Dave Parrish goes back for the Rangers, number 3. Here's Parrish on right wing for Duguay. Shoots one high off the glass. Hickey to the corner. Hickey bumped by Lorimer. Puck comes loose to Duguay out in front, and Sheehan couldn't control it. And now Kazicki races away for the Islanders. Kazicki skated off by Parrish, and Davidson cleared it away. Here are the Rangers. Sheehan, number 6, moving in. Bobby Sheehan is taken out in front of the net by Dave Lewis. Lewis and Hickey collide in the corner. Now Kazicki. Off Bossy's skate. And Greshner cleared it away for the Rangers. Pearson for Kazicki. Parrish tying him up. Greshner is there. Here's Don Maloney, the Ranger rookie. On right wing for Esposito. He dumps it in. Maloney charging in after it against Pearson. Puck back to the net. Here's Don Murdoch out in front. Murdoch has a chance, shoots. Billy Smith to save, and the rebound trickled off to the corner. Harris for the Islanders got it to center. Marois breaks it up there for Esposito. He gets it into the Islander zone. Kennelly and Maloney go to the corner. Kennelly around on right wing for Harris. And Harris shoots it down into the Ranger zone. Marois back to touch it, and icing is called against the Islanders. And the faceoff will be back in the Islander zone. We have 17:03 left in the first sudden death overtime period.
Well, Esposito was standing all alone, and Donnie Murdoch couldn't quite get free to give him that puck. Otherwise, he was alone in the center of the net with only Billy Smith. But a fine play by the defenseman to stop that pass across. And Billy Smith has been challenged twice here, and John Davidson once. So 3 good opportunities by both clubs. But the goaltender's playing solidly, and they're going to have to get probably a fluke to end this game.
Here's Merrick against Esposito. Esposito the draw, and McEwen's shot was blocked and bounces to center ice. Marois to Mike McEwen, ahead to Don Maloney to Esposito. He's checked by Merrick. And Merrick, number 11, speeds back for the Islanders. Merrick leaving it for Nystrom. Nystrom into the corner with McEwen. Nystrom got close out in front, shot, and he shot wide. And Merrick also failed to tip it in at the edge of the crease. Now Esposito behind his own net. Drops it back for Marois. Marois for McEwen in there forechecking is Merrick. And Merrick forces a face-off in the Ranger zone, which will be to the left of John Davidson.
Well, right there, Bobby Nystrom showing some strong forechecking to keep the puck in. Then he gets the puck. He tried to send it across the front of Merrick, who was right on Davidson's doorstep. Got it up a little high, so they really didn't have a chance. But some solid forechecking here, hemming the Rangers in, and now the Islanders go on attack. But the Islanders have out there Eddie Westfall on the right side with Trottier and Gillis right now, taking Bossy off that line. Here's the play with Nystrom fighting for that puck, getting free, coming out. And now he tries to just center that puck across to Merrick, but it was up a little high, and Merrick couldn't bat it out of the air.
Incidentally, Nystrom is another Islander player who has previously scored in overtime. Here's Jerry Hart, a shot that's blocked and bounces to center. Potvin for the Islanders is back to cover up. Over on right wing for Hart. Hart firing it ahead to Westfall, who dumps it in. Now Vadnais back to pick it up. Around on right wing, it comes to Dennis Potvin, shooting, and that deflects wide. Westfall behind the net with Dave Maloney. They battle for it. Puck comes to the side of the goal, and Vadnais for the Rangers feeds it into the center ice area for Hedberg, now to Vickers, broken up by Jerry Hart. Along the boards, Westfall and Kachuk hold it there. And the faceoff will be at the New York Islander blue line. So the 3 Islanders who have scored previously in overtime are Mike Bossy, who has scored twice in overtime, Billy Harris, and Bob Nystrom. The current Rangers who have scored previous overtime goals are John Murdoch and also Phil Esposito.
Well, now Westfall goes off and Bossy comes on. Westfall probably a little tired, playing on two different lines occasionally, and of course the Islanders want to get that Bossy touch out there. He's been shut out for 2 games solidly, and in fact, I don't know if he had more than 1 shot in this game. He had none in the first, so he's about due should he get a chance.
The Islanders have Trottier, Gillies, and Bossy. The Rangers have Tkachuk, Duguay, and Hickey as their forward line. Now Lewis for Trottier on right wing to Bossy. Bossy speeding in. Shoots one, and Davidson reaches down and gets his arm on it. Now Trottier in the corner. Here's Gillies trying to work it free. Puck does come in front of the net, but Vadnais for the Rangers flips it out to center ice. Pearson for Dave Lewis. Lewis ahead to Gillies. Now drops it to Trottier, broken up by Tkachuk. Number 18, Walter Tkachuk, trying to work through the defense. Broken up, and Pearson gives it to Trottier. Brian Trottier into the Ranger zone, leaving it there for Lewis. Now over on left wing to Nanne, back in front to Trottier, who deflected it wide. Dave Maloney trying to clear it to Duguay, now to Tkachuk. Here's Tkachuk with Hickey into the Islander zone. And coming back and breaking it up was Bossy. Now loose in front of the Islander goal. And Tkachuk shot it just wide. And Bossy has it for the Islanders. Bossy to Lewis. Broken up. Trottier coming up with it and clearing it to center ice. And I think they roll the puck one up over the boards at the Ranger bench and back onto the ice and play a stop. This is Stanley Cup 79 overtime action from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. 13:39 left in the first overtime period. Here are the Rangers from the face-off. Murdoch is shot, and that was blocked by Bourne, and it bounces out to center ice. Greshner for the Rangers, giving it to the rookie Don Maloney, dropping it now to Dave Parrish. Rangers work it to Esposito on right wing. Esposito's long shot, and Smith took it against his chest. Saves it for Potvin. On right wing for Nystrom. Nystrom, number 23, into Merrick. Merrick bumps off the puck, keeps on going, gets away from Parrish, centered, and Nystrom couldn't get a stick on it. Potvin shot, and Davidson a glove save. He was going to clear it, then changed his mind and dives out and held it for a faceoff.
Well, end-to-end action, and that's exactly what you expect to see in an overtime game such as this. Both clubs looking for that chance to win the game, and because of the pressure that they're putting on, they're getting people caught 3 men deep, but they don't care. They just want a chance to score, as we see Potvin taking that shot and getting hit by Donnie Murdoch. All players now using the body. Here's where you see Davidson. He's going to drop it for his defenseman. As he turned around, Davidson sees Nystrom coming in all alone, so he throws it wisely.
We've played 6 minutes of the first sudden death overtime period. Henning on the face-off, got it behind the Ranger goal, and McEwen has it for the Rangers. Over on right wing for Marois, now to Sheehan at center ice. Johnstone moving into the Islander zone. Hart skates him off. Now Hickey, checked by Henning, and Henning gets it to Jerry Hart. Hart unable to clear it, now does in the second try. Howard and Sheehan collide, and now it is Henning. For the Islanders, clearing it into the Ranger zone. Marois, number 25, back to get it. Trying to get away from Howard, passes to McEwen. Mike McEwen. To the red line, a long shot, big rebound. Smith trying to clear it, and it hit a Ranger player, Johnstone, but fortunately Hart was there for the Islanders. Marois in his own zone for the Rangers to Hickey. Hickey, number 16. He's checked, and Henning starts in on right wing. Lost it in McEwen for the Rangers' turn. We've played 7 minutes of sudden death overtime. 3-3 is the score as McEwen works around Howard. Centered one, and Kazicki is there to break it up. Can't clear it. McEwen centering. Maloney a drive, and Smith the save. At least it was Hickey who shot it, and Smith made the save. And now it is Pearson in the corner, trying to clear it for Westfall. And Westfall dumps it into the New York zone. Davidson clearing it over on the left wing boards, and here's Dave Maloney for the Rangers. Maloney trying to work around to Hedberg. Hedberg in front, a shot, that deflects wide. And Smith cleared it away to Kazicki. Kazicki to Lorimer. He shot it into the center ice area. Vickers gets it to Esposito. Esposito centered, and Hedberg was too closely checked by Kazicki. Islanders come back. Potvin flipping it in. Potvin has it again. A drive. He scores! Dennis Potvin!
Well, Dennis Potvin taking a drop pass and probably using Tonelli as a screen, fired that puck, and it seemed to go right through Davidson's leg right after the Rangers had missed on a great chance when Esposito tried to set up Hedberg. Hand-to-hand action, Potvin coming down, making a pass, taking a drop pass right here. He gets in position, he's going to shoot the puck. Tonelli cuts for the net, probably screens Davidson, and as that puck maybe deflected off Vadnais right through Davidson's leg, and the game's over. Islanders win 4-3.
I don't think it deflected off Vadnais, Lou, but I think when Vadnais went down to block the shot, he may have screened Davidson some.
Very definitely, Dan. That could have happened because Johnny was just looking at the shooter, and all of a sudden when you see that defenseman fall in front of that shot, you easily couldn't lose sight of it. It seems to catch part of Davidson's pad because it really didn't go into the net with a lot of velocity. But as we see the shooter, Dennis Potvin,
she wrote. The Islanders have finally defeated the New York Rangers, but it took them overtime to do it. And a goal by Denny Potvin is the difference. The official time of the goal is at 8:02 from Mike Kazicki. And now the Islander fans can maybe breathe a little easier. Well, Bob, this has been a tremendous hockey game, but I'll tell you, you've got to give the Islanders full marks for courage. They got themselves in a hole at the beginning, and they had to fight their way out. They were behind going into the third period. They tied the game up. As they went ahead, it looked like they had the game pretty well in hand, but the Rangers, who kept fighting and fighting and fighting, they finally tied it up, sending the game into sudden death overtime. And for a while, it looked like the Islanders were on the ropes, but they came back, and their big guy, Denny Potvin, who had his problems earlier, he put that blaster on, and it went past John Davidson. So we had a whale of a hockey game. This is what great hockey is all about. And the Islanders come out on top, 4-3. The semifinal is tied up at 1 game apiece, and it now goes to Madison Square Garden on Tuesday and Thursday for games 3 and 4.
Here is Jarvis ahead to Tremblay. Tremblay on the right side. Takes a look. He lost it to Rick Smith ahead to Middleton. Rattel is coming up on the play. Over to Rattel going in.